What do you do?
Roofer. It was roofing day yesterday. My God, man. I couldn't believe. I'm glad you heard that, Jeff. So, I mean.
And if roofers patrolling.
I thought maybe I got a little overboard, but God, I went back and listened to it. The guy was just an asshole.
Who the fuck was?
But he's coming on at 10. So he sent me basically his form of an apology this morning.
Oh,
went out to the customers, took pictures. What's that?
I love you letter. Huh?
No, I wouldn't say that. But it was funny. So I call him up this morning. We're talking. I said, "You're just a hardhead, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah, you are too, aren't you?" Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
He said he went back and listened. He goes, "Yeah, I didn't realize you guys are on my side the whole time. I thought you just always believe the consumer."
Ford summer sales event is in full swing. It's your chance to get a Ford F-150.
I said, "No, it's all Dan and his fault. I don't know what his fucking problem is."
Got you riled up.
Dan got me riled up. Said you were a real ass on the phone.
Dan was just an old curmudgeon.
They were up.
Okay, Wink and Wink, Genesis Century, Frankie, baby. I hope I don't have what I had yesterday, man. That was the most spots I have ever had in one show.
I don't know why they do that.
4, 8, 12, 16, including my house inventory. And 12 of which, well, I built some of them into other hours, but.
And I think Tom had a big one like that. The next day he had like the less I've ever seen.
Yeah, around holidays, depending on the holiday, I got to tell you, the worst time, most of these advertising agencies, they pull everything like between, unless they're doing a retail thing, but between Christmas and New Year's. Do you guys advertise cars heavily Christmas and New Year's?
No.
That's a savings of $40.
It's ongoing, so there's never really a heavy spot.
Well, and during that time of year, at least, since, for what we do, because, I mean, we're large ticket, we're not doing alternators and spark plugs.
People don't want to do it.
They hold off. They want to save all their money to buy the Teenage Mutant Power Ranger when they come through the grip.
That makes sense.
And then all of a sudden, 2 days before Christmas, they realize they ain't going to make it to grounds. And then that car comes rolling in, and they want to know if you can get an overhaul done.
There you go. That's exactly what it is.
That makes sense. It's amazing how people live like that. Staying home, please be ready to go because you could be asked to go in any particular time. Southern County Undersheriff Joel.
How did the thing go with, did you guys hear on the news, how did Trump's visit go with Putin?
Oh, no.
I've heard about Putin.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, they just ended at 40. Well, I mean, it would have been a while back.
Poland, they loved him in Poland.
Oh my God!
Yeah, they did. You see that?
They loved him more there than his own crowds here.
Yeah.
What was that about? Why do they like him so much here?
Well, yeah, but he got snubbed by the first lady. Did you see that?
Oh,
no,
they
showed it. They did more things.
I know, it's funny as heck.
Yeah. That was
Trump's defense of the West is dubbed racist and dark. CNN. Or no, that's Fox News. Oh, I see. He's saying America first. They're saying fuck you.
Yeah, because the people in Poland don't think of Poland first.
I think we should.
People in Germany don't think of Germany first.
Yeah, of course not. Well, the people in France probably legitimately don't, but.
No, they run away from it anyway.
Oh! Don't they sound like girly girls too over there? Oh, flash, flash, flash.
I've got a French Army rifle for sale if you're interested. It's never been fired, just dropped once.
Drop once?
Drop once. Never been fired, dropped once.
That's wrong.
How are they known for getting women, though? Just because they're all pussies, what? I mean, how are they known for...
I mean, it is a pretty language. But,
you think it's pretty? Oh, French bread pizza.
French bread pizza?
French fries.
Pretty.
Can you tell I've never been to France?
I hated France. I mean, I love going there for the history and whatnot, but the people, as a general rule, they hated you just because you're American, and they treated you like crap.
Yeah.
At least if you were a guy. If you were female, that was a little bit different story.
Power supplies. The National Security Council, the Director of National Intelligence, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission have all declined to comment on the Bloomberg report.
if you guys could,
The company that makes the popular protein bar Cliff Bar is recalling.
would you order an air conditioner
Nut allergies. The company
online?
Cliff Builder's chocolate mint bar and
No.
its flavors.
Air conditioner
For your house?
No.
Even if it was the cheapest way to do it, or you just simply don't know enough?
Who's installing?
It would be different people, different contractors. So let's say a contractor, you know, let's say, I don't know, what's the average cost of an AC?
$5,000?
It's probably about right, maybe even a little more depending on the house.
And that's the last one I did.
But let's say it was, let's say you could get it done for $3,000, 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Well, hold on. Who's covering the parts and labor? If you're buying the unit and you have somebody do the install,
Yeah.
who's actually going to be covering the labor in the event that something goes down? Because they didn't buy the product. Why would they warranty?
The main company.
Okay, so they extend that out?
Yeah, the main company. So if it was warranty and the guy that installed it's no longer there, someone else would simply do the warranty.
Okay.
Just like if you hired another tech or whatever.
Okay.
But the question, if it's a great price, would you order it on the internet? That's the part that I don't know if people are ready for that. I personally am savvy enough. I could go out and look at my old one and say, okay, it's this many sears, it's this many tons or whatever.
Right.
And long as I had a guide to help me, and I go choose ABC, and then it shows me a price of $2,800.
Unless they have some sort of worksheet for the average Joe to be able to figure out what they actually need to get it right, then I think it's going to be nothing but headaches or a failed experiment altogether. But unless they have a worksheet, you know, like the blinds people who promise you're going to get what you need. And get
or you can send them back for free. Blah,
right,
blah,
but
blah.
if you've got some sort of worksheet, or you can take a snapshot of your current unit and they can make the recommendation.
Yeah, okay.
I can see where that one works.
That's actually pretty smart. A snapshot of what you have, or of the plate.
Right.
Because, and I'm not talking like, hey, I want to add air conditioning to my house. I'm talking, I live in Highlands Ranch, and my air conditioner's 10 years old, and it took a shit, and I want it replaced. That's what I'm talking about.
Who's talking about putting this up?
We're on air right now. I don't want to get
Okay.
into it, but it's crazy though. But it could go for anything. I mean, it really could go for anything. Let's say you could hop on there and you want a maid. So you go onto the app, house cleaning, 3 rooms, $50. You hit it,
Right.
and a maid shows up an hour later and cleans your 3 rooms, and you pay your $50. There's some things that would be easy
Yeah,
and
more
perfect for.
cut and dry.
But you're right. Some shit, if it's only labor, like picking weeds, mowing lawns, cleaning homes, car washing, shit like that, brainless. It's simple. But when you get into where there's real tickets, like HVAC or plumbing, I mean, like drain cleaning.
Unless there's some sort of support in order to keep the end user from making mistakes and creating their own bad experience, that'll be a failed experiment.
Yeah, you're right, because that would be a big one. They create their own bad experience.
Exactly.
It's of no fault to whomever.
Exactly right. I'd be afraid of it.
Think of, even in the automotive business, there's, okay, think of that on a car. In fact, I saw an advertisement yesterday on a company that is saying, basically they're saying, go test drive it wherever you want, and we'll fucking deliver it to your house cheaper than you can buy it
The
anywhere.
Ford dealer in Springs is doing that.
Are they really?
Yeah, concierge type deal, and you can buy the car online and we'll deliver it, do everything at home.
This one basically alludes, listen,
They're doing that.
go test drive it anywhere you fucking want. Tell me what color you want. Tell me whatever you want, and we'll beat anybody's price, and we'll deliver it to your house.
Yeah,
I'm going.
I saw that.
The only problem with that model is if everybody did it, there'd be no place to test drive the car.
True enough.
Yeah.
It would be nuts.
Also, if you sign on at home, you have a 3-day right to respond too.
I know. We go from 12 to 5. Fridays are always kind of, oh shit, I better get ready.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Welcome to the show. My name's Mark Major, and as you know, this is the only, and I mean it, the only show of its kind. We solve problems, we answer questions, we take your complaints, we get directly involved, we entertain,
We do everything. I mean, we're like a variety show here, but our main goal is to recoup losses that someone took advantage of you and took your money, maybe ripped you off, but that's why we're here. I'm going to give the phone number out right now, 303-713-8255. I'll tell you when a line drops off. We have nothing available now, but when you hear someone drop off, I don't remind you, call in. We love getting directly involved. In fact, yesterday we had a great one. Jay Bretz with Excel Roofing was in. And Jay went out to Colorado Springs, by the way, in studio with me. Andy Barella with Colorado Springs Dodge, largest Dodge dealer in the state. But, Andy, you're the service manager down there. One of your residents down there in Colorado Springs, these brothers, God, my heart went out for them. They have mental issues, if you will. The mom died, left them the house. They didn't realize that, you know, you're supposed to have insurance on the house. All those storms you guys had, the hail came through, damaged it so bad, it was leaking into the house. All these other roofers would climb up there once they found out there was insurance. These roofers down in the Springs, no offense, and there's good ones down there, but the ones that climbed up on his house, none of them would even throw a tarp over, not even hammer a couple shingles to stop the leaking, didn't care. Anyhow, Excel Roofing went out there and got it handled at no cost, zero. 100% zero. ABC Roofing Supply donated the shingles. What is it? Owens Corning was involved. And then, of course, Jay and his guys did all the labor. I wanted to say thanks again. You can see a picture of the brothers in the Excel sign in their house when it was all finished on our Facebook page. That makes me think of something else, too. Can we get Slaughter on? Let's give Mike a call.
I just left him a message.
Sweet. So Mike Slaughter, him and I got into it yesterday. Jeff, you were telling me you heard the show yesterday.
Yes, I did.
So Mike Slaughter sent me an email this morning. For folks just listening, what happened was this caller called in. In fact, Dan, what was his name? Do you remember the caller's name? I don't offhand.
Steve.
Oh, Steve called in and said, hey, I bought this condominium. The roof was done years before I bought it. But this company, I keep getting ice dams, and this company didn't put any, what is it called? Ice and water shield.
Shields.
Ice and water shield down, but yet the contract says it did. So he sent us a contract that said it was there. And this guy didn't own it at the time, but he told me the HOA gave him permission to reach out on their behalf and say, hey, why wasn't this done? And anyhow, long story short, I did not think that Slaughter did anything wrong, and I had Jay Bretz with me, and we're both kind of looking at each other like, I don't know. I guess, honestly, if they didn't put it everywhere, on his contract, it did say it, but it didn't say they put it everywhere, and it was kind of handwritten in, and, you know, we were going to look into it, and we had to call out, and he came on. Well, he's got a little bit of a thick head, and I guess I've been known to, you know, have a little bit of a thick head. So I end up kind of screaming at him. Jeff, did you hear that?
Well, you know, he came on sounding like he was ready for an argument, just from the get-go.
Well, in most
that being said, not that you're an angry person, but you could start a fight in an empty room.
Well, I fight myself. Shadow boxing is a real, but anyhow, here's the good news. You guys want to hear really good news? I want to give this. In fact, I'll wait for Mike Slaughter, but we talked this morning. He sent me an email with some pictures, and we had a good talk, which I love. I love that. And once we get him on, we'll go into what happened over there, because he went over to this condo yesterday, and wait till you guys hear what happened. Now, anyhow, it's car day, so we're going to take car questions left and right. We're also going to deal with everything else going on. Simple, simple, simple as that. The one I do want to touch base on right now, ASAP Roofing, and this one really irritates me. 74-year-old caller signs a contract with him. According to the caller, these guys come knocking on his door. I guess they were working next door. You know, they're the typical door-knocking roof company, I guess. And this is according to the caller. Says, hey, we'll do a free inspection on your roof. Sign here. Guy signs there. Well, of course, he's signing the contract. Okay, so he signs the contract, and now this roofer is saying, hey, we want to start the roof. If not, if we don't get your deductible check, we're going to go ahead and lien your house because you signed the contract. They haven't ordered any supplies, at least it doesn't appear to be. We have left numerous messages. Deputy Dan, have we heard back from them yet?
No, and I think you got their name wrong. I think it's not ASAP, it's ASS Roofing.
Listen to him. That's
in my opinion.
In your opinion, it's ass roofing. Yes, I get that. Hey, leave the jokes to me. No, but you know what? You're right. So they won't call us back. They won't do anything. But here's the main problem I have with ASAP. We had Jay Brett's in studio yesterday, and if you look at their contract, if you cancel, Dan, what does it say? This is so funny.
They get 33% of the above listed amount.
And what did they list in the above?
Nothing.
Nothing. There's nothing there. And in Colorado, you have to put a dollar amount. Now, it doesn't have to be exact, but it has to be something. Roofing laws, there's certain things that have to be on the contract. One of them is a dollar amount, and it's spelled out. Another one happens to be a 3-day right to get out of the contract or rescind the contract. And then there's some other stuff in there. So it doesn't even look like the contract's valid, but my argument always is, even if the 3 days goes by, if it's a 74-year-old man that, according to him, got okey-doked going, you know, letting this guy get up on his roof, it's just crazy. Oh, we got Mike Slaughter up. Now, Mike Slaughter owns... Hey, Mike, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing?
I am doing good. Mike, I was kind of explaining we kind of had an argument yesterday. I think we're both a little hard-headed. You're probably a little more hard-headed than me, though.
Hey, after listening to your podcast, I'm not sure that's the case.
So, anyhow, Mike and I won't say we got into it, but I think we started the conversation off a little wrong. But anyhow, Mike, you went out to this condo yesterday. This is what I wanted you to come on, and let's get cleared up. You sent me photos this morning, and we're going to put them up on our Facebook feed, but this is remarkable. So this guy calls up. He was absolutely positive there was no ice. What is it called? Ice and water shield?
Ice and water shield.
He's saying there's not. He went out there yesterday after you were on the air. You went to the customer's house. And, Mike, what did you do out there?
I lifted up the shingles. The homeowner was there. I took pictures of the ice and water shield.
Which I got.
Asked him if he knew what ice and water shield was. And he says, well, you've explained it to me what it is. And I said, no, you said that there's none on here, and then you had a roofer come out here and say there's none on here.
Yep.
And it's right here. So.
And he now acknowledges that, right?
Well, he acknowledged it to me there, and then I met also with the HOA president, and I went to his unit, which is right in the building right next door to
and showed him.
Steve, and I showed him what ice and water shield was.
Yeah, it's incredible. He was so positive it wasn't there. Now, here's the other part to it, and this is what Jay was saying yesterday, and you kind of alluded to it in your email. You know, it's not the fix-all. In other words, if he doesn't get a snow rake or doesn't plug in his the heating strips, I mean, there's other issues going on.
Yeah, and I have a snow rake on my house. I don't have heat tape. I have a snow rake.
Yeah, I do too.
I pull it off, and then you never have it back up.
Yep.
But they have heat tape on all of those units, and nobody plugged them in this winter when we were at his house this winter to give him the estimate.
Oh,
he said, well, it wasn't in the contract for the guy who installed the heat tape to plug it in. Well, as a homeowner, plug it in yourself.
Yeah.
Sensor cord and run it to your outlet.
Well, very cool, man. I did a lot of research on you guys last night because you had me huffing and puffing, and I got to tell you, I couldn't find anything negative on you. You started scaring me. I didn't understand why you were upset with me, and I'm looking for anything. You're a hard person to find anything on.
Well, it's a family-run business. Me, my wife, my son, my daughter, and about 20 roofers that work for me.
Very cool.
You only get more business if you take care of people. So for some guy to come on here and slander me like this, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think he was frustrated. He was definitely wrong, man. I can't put it any other way. This one, the consumer was way off. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, though, Mike, and I hope let's meet one of these days. I'll let you buy me lunch.
I'll do that, Mark.
Have a good one, Mike.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Mike Slaughter, Slaughter Roofing. In fact, Dan, reach out to him. I didn't even think about that. I want to reach out to him later about the referral list, but that's the kind of business I like. You know what I really like? Even though we didn't get along, and Jeff, you heard the show. I mean, it ended horrible. I'm screaming about him. He's like, your show sucks and blah, blah, and everything else. What I really like is even after all that, what did he do? Think, what do I really appreciate what he did?
He called to make amends.
Well, that's true, but forget about me. He went over to the customers right after the show, took pictures, showed the customer, educated the customer, and said, now, come on, man. That's what I really liked. He didn't just throw his hands up and say, forget about it. He actually went out there, made sure that 5 years ago his guys did. Who else would go out 5 years later? I mean, I know Jay and people on a referral list would, but a lot of companies would have thrown their hands up. And he didn't. I think that's great. Anyhow, 303-713-8255. House caught fire last week. Needs advice. We've got a Brakes Plus question on labor hours. We have got a fencing and deck problem. And what kind of insurance you should get on an older car. Man, we've got a lot going on. Let's do this real quick. Wink and Wink, they're bankruptcy attorneys, and they're ones I hope you never need, and I mean that, I mean that, I mean that. But if you find yourself in financial trouble, maybe a divorce, maybe I don't know, maybe you lost your job, you can't find another one, maybe a hospital bill. If you need to think about bankruptcy, maybe you have a house, you don't know if you can keep it, can I keep my car? If you just have general questions, maybe you're making the same interest payments on the same credit cards every month and just getting further into the hole and it's going nowhere. Would you at least call Wink and Wink, talk to Gigi or Mike? It's a twofer. It's a husband and wife team. But call them up. At least talk to them. It's not going to cost you anything. Bankruptcy might be the option. Debt consolidation might be the option. But call them and talk to them. They're the ones we trust. 303-410-1720. 303-410-1720. Or check them out at referralist.com.
So he came off. He comes off as a decent guy.
Maybe he didn't get sleep. Maybe he was tired yesterday.
I think you got him all upset.
It wasn't also not your fault.
If he's good, he should have been defensive. Good for him. What? He sounded different. His voice was totally different.
Oh, no, man. He was like
he got sleep.
Anytime you walk into a room with guns blazing, somebody's bound to shoot back.
Here's what really just got me, though.
Exactly.
He, of course, wasn't listening to the whole show. He went back and listened to it. But I was on his side the whole time. It wasn't even like, I'm like, it's 5 years ago. On the contract, someone hand wrote this in Greeley, where it is not code where you have to put ice and water shield down, where other places it is code.
Right.
So I was stretching to find anything. Then I thought, okay, well, let's get them on, because if truly the reason the ice damming is happening is because there was supposed to be this per the contract, even though it's handwritten in there, let's see what the owner's got to say. But I'm telling you, guy, there's nothing we're going to be able to help you with. I don't think the guy did anything wrong. So this is what I'm saying the whole time. Then he comes on.
Then he can, and not knowing what you're saying.
And the first thing I tell him is, I said, hey, Jay Bretz is with me with Excel Roofing. He's matching. He says, generally, you run a great business. Just like that. And he got upset over, I guess, the generally part. Not generally, all the time. It's like Dan, I wouldn't say generally does a good job. I would describe it as Dan does a job.
Usually does a good job. Or no,
now you're
shows up. He just shows up.
Dan usually has problems.
Yeah, there you go.
What that for? Were you talking to that woman with amnesia?
No, I listened to her thing.
Oh, you were talking.
I sent her an email.
That one's right on my way home. If it sounds bad Monday, I might go check it out. But, I mean, if it's flooding damage, I doubt she has flood insurance.
She says it's like, I can't understand her email.
And I bet that some of you will just suffer in
silence. It sounds like her contractors dug up a pipe and
less manly or whatever. But is that really the answer? I mean, if your man had any other medical problem, wouldn't you suggest...
You guys have any of those new 1,000 horsepower, whatever the hell they are?
September.
What are they? Hellcat 3s? What do they call them?
Demons.
Oh, that's right, the Demons.
The
Demons. What is the sticker?
I heard they're touching 90, but I heard a story yesterday about a guy that, God, where was he from? Because they're sending 3,000 to the States and 300 to Canada. But I heard yesterday that a guy called, I wish I could tell you what country he called from, paid $100,000 over.
For an early one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you got the dough, shit, man.
So I understand that he's got crazy money. It didn't matter.
It's probably one of multiple cars.
Internet deal. He contacted my internet and said, "Hey, I want it. I'm in. Let's do it."
I'll tell you something.
The demand is crazy. You know what's really cool is I wish I'd have brought it. You should see the waiver you have to go through and sign to buy it, about the passengers in the car and the safety and the you know, the speed of the car and
It's like-
the risk and it's a contract that says, hey,
It's like jumping out of a plane.
yeah, yeah. It's this contract, this agreement, and it says
It's different than all your other cars.
Oh, I've never seen it before in all my career. It says you need to be aware of what you're buying and what you're doing.
Is Janicelli around?
You know? Yeah.
See if he'll come on with that. See if he'll.
I'm going to have to look and see if he's got it. Because
Okay,
it's in my website.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got it. I think
I would love to hear some of the wilder ones here.
I've got you would love it. When I get back, I'll scan it and email it to you.
Cool.
Yeah, you've got to see it. It is like total responsibility on your part.
You understand you may die by simply getting it.
And I'm telling you, it pretty much says that. It says you need to be on it.
Pre-order concessions and skip lines from Adam Tickets and Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. It's car day on the Troubleshooter Show. Let's get right to the phones. Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, Suzanne. Jackie held forever yesterday, right? Jackie, Lee, I promise you're up next. Jackie, what's going on? And by the way, thanks for holding so long yesterday, Jackie.
Oh, that's fine. I needed to talk to you.
What you got?
We had a fence, brand new fence put in around our patio June the 1st. The quality of the workmanship is so poor.
Was there a permit pulled?
Was there, I'm sorry?
Was there a permit and an inspection or no?
I'm assuming that the fence contractor would have done that.
Okay, well, I'm just curious. I don't know if you have to have an inspector look at a fence. I'm sure it depends on where it is. But anyhow, you're saying it's horrible. What I was getting to, do they acknowledge it's horrible or they say it's great, you say it's horrible?
Okay, they came out after I had already paid them the final payment because we were getting ready to go out of town, so I just gave it to him, let him finish the work.
Fair enough.
Came back, and we were sitting out there, and we started seeing split pickets.
I'm sorry, split pickets. Is it like a 6-foot privacy fence? What is it?
It is a 6-foot, called a shadow box fence, or neighbor-friendly, where you have pickets on the outside and the inside.
Okay.
And they're staggered.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the pickets are not...
Do we have pictures of this, Suzanne?
I just realized we do. I'm looking at them. They look terrible, but I'm going to send them to you and Dan.
All right, we'll get them up so everybody can see them, too. So when you called them up and said, hey, this is what's going on, what did they say?
Well, they came out. The owner came out.
That's a good sign.
Name is, Dale Brinkley. He came out, saw some of the problems. We hadn't found them all yet. This was 2 days after the fence was fixed.
So in June...
He said yes.
Okay, keep going.
He said, yes, we'll come out and fix it.
Okay.
He never did. I sent him numerous texts on the phone.
So he's just not responding now. But when you first had the problem, he did come out, he saw some of the issues, acknowledged them, said he'd fix it.
Yes. Now, he did send out 2 weeks later, in June the week of the 12th, he sent one of his men out. The man came out and said, I cannot do this work without Dale here.
Why?
So he said there was too much to be done.
Oh.
I guess Dale had told him that all we had was pickets to be replaced. That's not true. Our gate is sagging because the post on the gate is split and now it's sagging.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the splits. I'm looking at see, I don't think you should muddy the water with some of these pictures, but I see the real problem. So let's do this. Deputy Dan, I'm going to put Jackie on hold. Would you reach out to this fence guy and see if he's going to get out there? I mean, the fact that he showed up.
Well,
go ahead.
Can I tell you something? We don't want him back. He's going to come back and do a patchwork job.
Well, okay, then, okay, Jackie, then what do you want? If you're not going to allow him to come out and fix it, listen, this was June 1st, you said. When did they actually finish the job?
June the 2nd.
Okay, well, okay, fine. So June the 2nd it got finished. We're a little over a month from there. I mean, in other words, it's not like this happened 8 months ago and he's not out yet. He's probably busy. You need to give him the opportunity to fix it. Now, granted, if they come out and they don't fix it, well, then you have a problem. But why wouldn't you give him the opportunity? You're creating an issue right now that I don't understand why, with the exception that you're just frustrated.
No, I am frustrated, but I have since had another more reputable fence contractor out looking at the fence.
Yep.
And they told me they're going to have to take out probably 80%. Many of the pickets have to come down because they're not spaced properly. There are gaps in my fence.
Well, they can still reuse the pickets, though.
No, they can't, because when the fence was put up, it should have been screwed in. They nailed it in. They said, we can try and take it off, but your pickets might split.
Jackie,
and we'll have to put up new ones.
Jackie,
yes.
I think you need to give them an opportunity to fix it, because if you don't, what are you going to do? You're going to sue them? No, let's walk down the road with me here. Follow me down the road. So you take them to small claims court. How much was it?
I'm not taking him to small claims court, not yet.
No, how much was the entire job?
Oh, it was $1,956.
Okay, so let's pretend you file in small claims court or hire an attorney. I don't care, but it's $1,900 you go off of. Here you are in front of the judge, and here he is on the other side in front of the judge. Your Honor, I told her I'd come out and fix it. She wouldn't let me. She wouldn't let me fix it. The judge is going to say, did you not let him fix it? And you're going to go, well, no, because another fence guy told me this and that and everything else. And the judge is going to go, too bad, so sad, case dismissed. You should have let her fix it, or him fix it.
Well, I would okay, I'll let him come out and fix it if he'll answer my phone call.
Well, we're going to call over there. I don't even know his side of it. For all I know, the guy, I'm not taking his side, Jackie, but the first thing I'm always going to say when someone says, well, I don't want him doing it, well, okay, then you're going to be out that money. I mean, that's just how it works. Now, if he tries to fix it 5 times and he can't fix it, then there starts becoming an argument. But hold on a second. Dan, can we call this guy? Yeah. And see what he's got to say. I know nothing about him. I don't want to come off like this guy's the best guy in the world, but you got to give people an opportunity to do warranty work. And looking at these pictures, Dan, do you see them? The one picture, I hate when people muddy the water. Maybe I'm crazy, but the split pickets, yes, a problem. A sagging gate, which I don't see, a problem. But when you take a picture of that 1 2x4 that has, like, you know, a little chip off the top, or then I go, okay, now we're nitpicking. So what really needs to be done? And because another guy says, hey, this fence should have been done this way, well, he wants that job.
Yep.
Okay. All right, 303-713-8255. Suzanne, get her info. We're going to reach out. We'll call Jackie back, but we need all the fence guys' info. Now, Lee, what is your question, Lee?
Well, I was at Breaks Plus yesterday.
Okay.
And I was watching them working on my car. Had an 8 o'clock appointment. They didn't pull the car in until 10 to 9. By about 10 o'clock, the chap started working on it. I don't have any problem with what they did, but when I went to finish up with them and pay the bill, they said they worked on it for they're charging me 4.7 hours to do the work, and they were working on it maybe 2 hours time. And when I asked for the manager, said I'd like to dispute this, he said to me it's industry standard. If the man finishes it in 2 hours time, and we think it would take 4.7 hours or more, you have to pay for the 4.7.
I'm going to let both these guys talk to you, too, but I got to say something, man. I agree with that. I used to call it live by the sword, die by the sword, because the reverse goes too, Lee. Let's say it's an alternator that calls for 1 hour, and it's a newer tech or a newer car they're not used to or whatever, and it takes 4 hours. I would assume, just knowing something about Breaks Plus, they would still only charge you the 1 hour that All Data or the Mitchell book called for. Gentlemen?
And that's legally what all they can do. Time guides, whether you're going through Mitchell, you're going through Chilton, all of these guides are actually set up so that the average technician, if it takes 4.7 hours to do it, that's what you charge. Now, a good technician is going to be able to beat that time. And that's how he actually ends up making money. So that at the end of the day, although you put in a 9-hour shift, if you can turn around and you can produce 21 hours worth of work, that's where you're starting to actually make money as a tech.
But if it takes them 8 hours, they're not charging them 8. They're charging them whatever.
You can only charge according to what the time guide says.
It's just, it's how the industry does it. I mean,
from that standpoint, he knows because he's a professional doing this with all his customers. And I, as a customer, figured, hey, you have a franchise to put your hand in my pocket. You knew it was going to take less than 4.7 hours to put in a bushing.
Yeah. I understand exactly what you're saying, but like I said, there's plenty of times where it goes the opposite way.
There was a guy up in Boulder that actually tried to sue in order to get that law changed so that you actually paid for the work hours on the vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, given that situation, you know, if I have an A-level technician, a B-level technician, a C-level technician, and I give you a choice of which tech you want, now my A-level technician is going to be $200 an hour.
Yeah.
My B level is going to be 150, and my C level is 90. The average Joe is going to charge go with the C level. Now that C level technician just took 8 hours to do that job, whereas my A level technician could have done it in 1. Which one would you have been happier with?
Well,
That's a good point.
I understand
He gets it.
Where you're coming from, no question. Only one time in all my years of getting cars worked on did I have a shop say to me, you know...
You know why? It's because you were there watching.
Because we thought it would take more time and it didn't.
You know what? It is awkward, though. Imagine that. Andy, you're a service manager. Imagine if the customer is literally watching and you know it's 3 hours. You got your best guy on it that works on that same car every day because you're at a Dodge dealership, and he can bang it out in an hour, and here you are. You're going, oh, man, this sucks. This guy waited.
It makes sense. It makes sense why you would question it. However, you really want him to do it faster because he knows what he's doing. That's the comfort zone.
I just told him that he just lost the customer.
Yeah, but Lee...
Last week I took it in for brakes. They did a brake job on it.
Lee, but understand, anywhere you would have went would have been the same outcome. It really doesn't matter. They can adjust their labor rate. They could say instead of $150 an hour, they're $100 an hour, but everybody in that business charges the same way. I mean, they simply do. 303-713-8255. Hey, Lisa, hang tight. Nathan, hang tight. We'll be right back.
That sucks when they're waiting.
That's a good way to bring it.
It is.
Your A, B, and C
it is.
technicians.
It makes sense like that.
Well, here's a problem if that law got changed. You would have A technicians taking 14 hours to do one job.
Right. Why not?
Lot coffee.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, the time guides are there for a reason.
I believe someone actually tried to change that law, though. That's crazy.
Oh, he got all upset, and he was actually, and I don't remember what shop it was at.
It's a very consumer-friendly law.
Yeah, he was getting a half shaft put inside his car, and the waiting room had a glass window so you could watch the technicians actually working. And I think they charged him like 2.3 hours, something like that. It wasn't outrageous.
Whatever.
And the guy pounded it out in like 45 minutes.
Happens all the time.
Exactly. He got livid, refused to pay, ended up trying to sue the guys, lost in court. Then actually started up a big thing. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. But tried to get the law changed so you had to pay, so you could pay according to what it actually took.
It's crazy because for every one of those half shafts that pop right out and pop right in, man, there's ones where those free. I hear my guy out there with his hammer trying to get that thing.
Oh yeah, or you get a car that's coming from the East Coast and you're doing everything you can to get the rust off of it so that everything doesn't snap as you're taking it apart.
When you look at both sides of it, it's a fair system.
It is a fair.
It's a fair system.
And if if you're priced out of the market, well then you adjust your labor rate. But most people aren't priced out of the market.
Yeah. Are you ready?
What do you got?
Customers shall have full responsibility and shall assume all risks related to the use of the features and applications of the vehicle and shall only use the features and applications when it is safe to do so. Failure to do so may result in an accident involving serious injury or death. That's number one.
And you got to sign that.
Yeah, but this is like being on the plane and having them go, your interests are...
It even tells you...
Yeah, no one. They just want to get in their new Hellcat. They can trust that they're going to die.
Yeah.
Listen, you may catch on fire, but sign here saying you won't sue us.
The vehicle's drag radials do not meet the United States Department of Transportation requirements. They're not intended for highway use.
It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my...
Pick out some of the real good ones. But they're 90, huh? Is that fully loaded or starting?
That's pretty loaded.
They're all loaded.
Yeah, they're running in the high...
Do they drive themselves?
80 to 90 range. Do they drive themselves?
Like Tesla will drive it?
No way.
They don't steer and shit?
This car is just so... It's a drag car. It's just...
How many horsepower?
840 on here. But it is just a drag car.
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. These manufacturers now, Chevrolet and I think Dodge, they actually run engine noise through the speakers. So it has that sweet sound while you're revving it up. I was reading this article. I'm like, son of a bitch. And then I thought about my buddy that bought a new Camaro. So it actually is kind of the phony baloney.
That's extreme.
I bet you Dodge does the same thing.
I've never heard of that. I really have.
They run it.
But you wouldn't think, in all my years, you wouldn't think there'd be a production car today that was that loud either. It's amazing.
Yeah, but they want them loud.
Loud.
That's what I'm saying though. Like that car, they want loud.
They're getting loud.
I don't know. I'd rather have it creepy and quiet, but just as fast.
Yeah.
That's how those Teslas are, man. I gotta tell you, they're fast as snot.
There's a guy lives up the street from me, has a Cobra. You know the old Cobras? God, that thing is loud.
Real one or a
Mustang?
It's got to be a replica. It's got to be a replica.
Is it a Mustang?
No, it's the Cobra was.
AC Cobra.
Yeah, oh yeah.
AC.
Two-seater car, open tops. You got the big hoop behind the driver's seat.
Now they were loud because basically they were headers with straight pipes that ran down.
Who made them?
Side pipes.
Ford. Well, actually, the first Cobra wasn't made by Cobra. Who's the guy that made Cobras? What was his name? He used to sign his name.
Carroll Shelby.
No, Shelby was. I think Shelby was a part of it, but I don't think that was his to begin with.
I think Ford, a 20,000 car back in '65.
Their fast one now is called the GT, right?
Yeah.
The Ford GT. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a newer model coming out. Supposed to be real nice.
Is it a GT?
Yeah, for the GT line.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, and there's actually a way you have to get approved to get those cars. You have to get in line and then you get selected.
Like these do. It's amazing.
Not me. Fuck that. I couldn't wait for Not me. No, I mean not like I get it quicker. Although I might. I might just have to tell how long it takes every day.
I've actually got a high school friend that's got two of them.
2 GTs.
So he got his first one when he was a writer car and driver. And then he was doing some stuff for, who was it?
I bet once you have one, it's easy to get.
It's easier to get in line, yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
But that's crazy to have one.
Isn't it? And then it's like a new.
All right, 303-713-8255. Century RV, these guys are great. They have a huge selection, new and used RVs, travel trailers, you name it. They have all different kinds of brands. Keystone, Forest River, Dutchman, Heartland, Cougar, you name it, they have it. New and used, open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6. Check out their inventory. Once again, new and used. If you want to upgrade, get into something bigger, maybe downsize, maybe it's your first camper, first pop-up, first RV, first fifth wheel, check out Century RV. You can find them on the referral list at referrallist.com or give them a call 303-453-1111. All right, 303-713-8255. Let's see what we got here. Lisa's been holding for a while. Lisa, what's going on?
Hey, I called you guys a couple of months ago and asked you what kind of car to buy because I only had $4,000. You recommended that I buy a Nissan, a Honda, and something else.
Okay. So what'd you buy?
I ended up buying a Nissan Altima.
Okay.
And do you remember Tom told me, he goes, oh, Lisa, you don't have enough money. You can't buy a car because I only had $4,000.
My God, well, Lisa, no, I don't.
Well, that's what Tom said. He goes, what are you, crazy?
Did you? So what year is it?
It's a 2006, and it's got 147,000 miles on it.
Nice. Make sure you do your oil changes and do that kind of stuff. It could last you a while.
That's what I'm saying. But what I wanted to ask you is it's an older car, and I have insurance coverage on it, through my insurance company, but I hear that there's all kinds of places out there where you can get insurance, like on the engine and transmission.
No,
and
God,
like
no.
That.
Don't touch them.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to put it any other way. I hate aftermarket warranties.
Yeah, it's not insurance; it's an aftermarket warranty, and most of those are
aftermarket warranty. It's those guys that are out there saying, "Hey, if you bought an older car."
Yes, we know it's an aftermarket warranty. They do them for homes, too. But, Jeff, finish your thought.
Well, they're very, very difficult. They from day one, if you have a claim, they're looking for any reason to duck out from underneath it.
Here's the biggest thing. If you look at the contract, if you want to look at it, Lisa, say, hey, let me see the contract.
Okay.
The biggest thing you're going to see is it doesn't cover, ready for this, pre-existing conditions. So what would be covered on there? If your engine was old and had sludge in it, would they cover your engine?
Nope.
No. because it was pre-existing. What if technically what is possibly covered?
Well, not to mention at 147,000 miles, you figure they're going to also take into consideration normal wear and tear.
Yeah, which is going to be everything.
A transmission that falls down at 150,000 miles is likely to be just kicked right off the system.
Lisa, just don't even mess with it. Don't buy one. Just save a little bit of money in case something happens.
Well, I'm putting money away. Oh, yeah, I am. You know, just to make sure. You know, but...
Hey,
yeah,
do you listen? I'm curious. Do you listen every day, Lisa, or just car day, or what? What is your typical troubleshooter schedule?
I listen every single day.
Very cool. I like when we have... I know we have a lot of ladies that listen, but it's like on Car Fridays it seems to be overwhelmingly men.
Oh, no, I learned so much from you guys.
Very
so
cool.
Much.
Hey, thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, and thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Yeah, stay away from those warranties, though. I mean, stay away. There is success stories. I processed a few in my time that I was surprised they covered virtually everything. But I'm telling you, the majority is fight, 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 fight. Now, Andy, if it's the actual Dodge or Mopar or whatever you guys are now, if it's their actual warranty sold with it, do they tend to cover almost anything?
There's levels of coverage, but with the higher level coverage, like with a Max Care, I'm going to tell you it's just like a new car warranty. And you know what's really cool about that is at the dealership level, we as service managers or service directors can usually make the call at that point. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you don't even got to call. It's up to you.
I don't normally have to
unless you see like abuse or something.
Right, or we can verify it just by computer. It's so easy to do. You know what's interesting about some of them warranties that she just called in about? If they feel it exceeds the value of the car,
yeah, you're done.
They can pay you the value of the car.
Or refund, and some of them, they might just refund the insurance policy.
Correct.
I mean, it's a horrible deal. I've yet to find a good aftermarket one. It was years ago. One was out of Hawaii, and they went BK, and now there was just, all the dealers across the United States, all of them sold it, so then they all had the repercussions because, hey, you sold this to me, so they think it's them, even though the warranty company is the one that collapsed. Let's see here. Nathan, my goodness, your house caught fire? What's going on, man?
Yeah, we went through we had a lightning strike, hit our house, caught the house on fire.
So your house, did it burn down to the ground? Is it still livable? What's it like?
No, it's not livable.
Okay.
The exterior walls are still standing, but most of the house is gone.
Wow, that sucks, man. I assume you have insurance.
Yes.
Who's your insurance company?
I hate to tell you this, but it's American Family.
I don't, I don't know what they could do to get out of it. I'm not a big fan on how their prices creep up all the time or they hold you hostage, but are you having a problem with them?
Well, not necessarily. We listen to your show every day, so I've heard all of the horror stories that you guys get every
Well, let me ask you. Okay, we'll get back to you, but you just sparked my curiosity. Why did you never not call Compass and at least get a quote to see if they can beat you and get you more coverage? I'm just curious if you listen all the time. And
we
apparently
actually did.
Oh, okay.
And they were not. We just recently did it, and we're not able to save us money. And
okay. Well, that's what I love about them. They'll tell you straight up, yes or no. Okay.
They told us right off the bat that we were okay with what we have.
Very cool. So how can I help you now? I assume your insurance company put you up somewhere.
They gave us the option. We're actually staying in our camper and
yeah, but you
family at times.
Are you getting an allowance though?
They're being
Hold on a second. I got to ask. I got Jeremy with Compass Insurance. Hey, Jeremy, how are you, man?
Hey, Mark. Good. How you doing?
Hey, this guy's got American Family. His house pretty much burned down. How does it generally work? I know you guys don't sell American Family, but how does it generally work? Like, I know how it works with Liberty Mutual and the companies I have, but he's staying like in his fifth wheel or something like that. Don't they give you an allowance, or do you got to literally turn in receipts?
No, well, I mean, for living expenses, he should have loss of use coverage, which would pay for hotels and basically.
Yeah, so Nathan, but if you're not using it, let's just say you own a vacation house and your main house burns down and you can go live in your vacation house, you're still due that money, correct?
No, you would have to use the coverage to get the money.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to. He has every right, even with a vacation home. He can say, I don't want to stay in that home. I want to stay in a hotel.
Okay, but he's got to have actual receipts. So Nathan, why aren't you just not staying somewhere else? I mean, in fact, I remember our neighbor's house burned down. They got real lucky. They were able to rent a house right down the road while their house was being rebuilt.
Okay, we live in a rural community in eastern Colorado.
Gotcha.
We have a big wind farm project going right now.
Okay, but Nathan, how can I help you, though? What questions do you have now that we have Jeremy on?
Okay, we just feel like, and maybe it's a false feeling, but we just feel like we're not getting we feel like we're being taken advantage of from the insurance company.
All right, hold on. I want to dive into that. I got to put both of you on hold. I'll tell you who they should call, though. I'll tell you who. I tell you exactly who Nathan should call. Ready? Genesis Total Exteriors. Yep, they do it all. Siding, windows, gutters, painting, fences, decks. So if you had a fire, yes, they can do everything on the outside of the house. And guess what Mark Szymanski can do on the inside there, Nathan? Ready? Kitchens, baths, basements, additions, large repairs, improvements. He can do whatever you want. But honestly, if you have an update you want to do on your house, even a pop-top, anything, call Mark Szymanski. Call Genesis Total Exteriors. 303-679-8509. 303-679-8509. Genesis Total Exteriors on our referral list.
I don't know what this guy's asking.
You know what?
Christ, I'm ready to shake his head like a damn bobblehead.
I think he wants what steps he needs to go through.
I think he wants to be compensated for what he's not doing, for the inconvenience, and that's the way it sounds to me.
Have we talked to this guy?
I think Suzanne did.
Do you remember a couple years ago when...
What does this guy want in general, babe? I mean, do you know his question?
Westbound I-70 stop and go on the approach to Brighton Boulevard as well. Weather forecast sunny today, a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms with a high near 90. Right now, a few clouds above and 75.
You know, the hard part is our neighbors went down. Literally next door. How our house didn't go up, I don't know. But I think it was 60-70% damage. I mean, it was unbelievable. They didn't scrape it, but it was right there. But man, it was a year and 3 months where they were back in. I mean, there's nothing quick.
I knew people that were homes burned down in the Black Forest fire. Remember a couple years ago? The insurance companies were putting them in comparable homes all over Colorado Springs and just putting the whole bill.
Well, that's how these guys were. They found one, you know, their house was a little bigger, but I mean, my God, it was 5 houses down and it happened to be for rent.
So they paid for it, right?
It worked. Yeah, the insurance company paid for all of it.
And they should.
That's why I can see why insurance went up in Black Forest.
Oh, my God.
Actually, it should go down, though, because it can't catch fire again.
Your place could.
Yeah, mine could, but I'm not in the, I'm talking the area that burned down.
Yeah, but there's so much area around there that didn't burn down.
They're still, then how do you, but let's say you get...
Here's what still sucks. Now they're rebuilding in a, you know, you've got dead forest all around you. So when the house is rebuilt, it's like if my house went down, shit.
You wouldn't want to be there.
You wouldn't want to be there. I'd have 1,000 dead trees around.
Right. Everything burned around it and your house was saved. You want to live there?
That's what happened to our mountain house in West Creek. Every house burned around next to it during the Hayman fire. Ours was the only one standing. The complete forest. It should have burned down. Hell, if I could have, I would have went up there and lit it up because the value of it just cut down to nothing.
Guarantee you.
Yep. I couldn't believe it. My dad put a metal roof on it. That's probably why.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But everything burned around. You could pick up a baseball and throw it at 3 homes that burned down and hit the home easily.
But all your pictures and everything you had in there...
It was a mountain house. I mean, the pictures and shit we had didn't matter.
Yeah.
Who's that old guy in there?
Oh, this one's great. Door-to-door salesman talking smack.
Yeah, and I said, what, is he spreading bad rumors? What's he saying? She goes, it doesn't matter what he's saying. The fact that he's talking to my neighbors about me. You want a different chair, or is this good?
Actually, I'll just lay on the floor.
I don't even want to try this one. That was as low as this one. I was trying to pull this one back up. There's a way to raise
Somehow each week our chairs get worse.
I know, you're right.
I'm pretty sure every other studio comes in and takes our good ones and slides in the shit. If you go look at the KOA, if you look at the KOA room, man, it's beautiful. They got big screen TVs.
We have to bring some checks in.
At least you're tall.
Rolly, how are you, sir?
I'm just fine.
I don't know how these chairs go up.
Bring your own headphones. Bring your chairs.
Bring your chairs. Bring your on table chairs.
What is
They don't, I'm telling you, they don't work.
I was going to say,
He thinks he's going to get it to work.
Because it was up earlier. Damn.
Holy shit. Hey, look, we got to have Rolly in more often.
Yeah.
Now watch him fall right out.
Hey, just don't lean back.
There you go. Well, I'm in tall cotton now. Anyway, how are you guys?
We got it. We fixed it.
You aren't falling that way.
It looks like there is nothing going back. Hey, and iHeart's not exactly the best financial thing, so I'm not sure any claims will actually pay out.
But I was just going to say, a high-powered outfit like this, and we can't have chairs at work. Just saying. You know.
Oh, they threw away all the phone books. I'll screw.
All right, 303-713-8255. Rolly Purifoy has joined us with Purifoy Chevrolet. Hey, I was talking
to Andy over the break, Rolly, and you know this new, what is it called? The Demon coming out in the Dodge line. You heard of this thing? You know, it hit your mic on.
It's just another...
It's another crazy car, but guess what?
Crazy phase of the horsepower wars.
You gotta sign, and I want to know if the Corvettes do the same thing. You basically got to sign a waiver when you buy this, saying, "Hey, you know you might die."
Well, we don't have a waiver for like for Z06 and everything, which is comparable type of performance and everything. But we really try to make people understand, and Chevrolet does help provide a driving school for these cars because they're dangerous cars.
We're gonna read some of this that Dodge makes them sign on this Demon. It's crazy. But let me get back real quick. Hey, Jeremy, I'm going to try everything I can to get Nathan's question out here so we can help him. So hold on here. So Nathan, give me a straight question. I mean, you've contacted your insurance company. They know the circumstance. So what's the question? You're probably looking at a year and a half, man.
Yeah. And that's part of my question. Is,
okay.
You know, they're telling us this project has to be done within a year. At the same time, we've been a week or whatever it's been, and they're dragging their feet.
Well, Jeremy, what can you generally expect if this happens to you? What are the steps he should do? I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I mean, I think that communication's number one. You need to communicate with them and hold them accountable to communicate with you. When you're talking about the year deadline, what insurance companies typically have on that is they just want to make sure you're not holding up the process, especially when it comes to the loss of use and that sort of thing. A complete rebuild can easily take over a year.
Oh, easily.
They can make exceptions for that. That's not really what they're looking for there. It's really to safeguard them that, you know, you don't go into a nice hotel and just rather be there so you drag your feet. But, you know, communicating with them, making sure there's a lot of parties involved anytime you have a total loss. And so, you know, between the contractors and the insurance adjuster, but you just got to remember they do this
Nathan,
every day.
Nathan, it's only been a week, and I got to tell you, I mean, I don't think you have any issues right now. A week is like nothing in the insurance world.
Yes, true. I'm learning that. very quickly.
I would get a place, though. They should give you an allowance. You should be able to find a like place and stay there. Why you're staying in an RV or whatever, I have no idea. And if you have questions on what you should be getting, I guarantee this, if you send that policy over to Jeremy or Matt or anybody over at Compass, these guys would look at it and tell you, yes, you have coverage, they should be doing this, that, and the other. So even though they're not your broker, I promise you they'll help you out through this, because that's what these guys do.
Well, and that's my main question. You just answered it. We don't know what to do. We don't know which way's up right now.
Jeremy, if he calls you direct, you mind kind of helping him if he runs into issues? I mean, it's only been a week.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, we could point you as to where, you know, you need to be concentrating your efforts, which I think is the biggest thing people get wrapped up in, is they do a bunch of work they shouldn't be doing, and they ignore the stuff that they should be doing.
And I'll tell you what my neighbors fell kind of prey to. The contractors they ended up hiring, you know, they wanted some upgrades done, so they were going to pay extra for, you know, let's say they didn't have granite. Now that their whole house burned down, they're going to pay a little more to get the countertops they always wanted. But I got to tell you, when it was all said and done, I think they got ripped off in every fashion. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like a $400,000 claim, and the house has never been the same. So just be careful as you go around. Make sure you pick the right contractor. And, hey, Jeremy, because it's hard to get labor in Colorado right now. He said he's out in a rural area, but don't most policies build in a percentage in case if, you know, the labor goes up or like a hurricane comes through or a hailstorm or a tornado?
Exactly. The policy should have some level of extended replacement cost, which kind of takes into account inflation. Obviously, right now in Denver, you know, it is going to be hard to find a contractor who could get started right away. So if you find one, you know, they may charge a little more than it was expected. And your coverage should hold it. And then don't forget the contents of your house, Nathan. There was probably contents there, but I'm going to tell you this, Nathan. I'm going to give you their number right now, but I think he already knows it, but it's 303-996-9000, 303-996-9000. Jeremy with Compass, thanks, man. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. They're great people. I mean, they're going to help this guy out for nothing. I'm not sure. I think he's just nervous. My God, how many people have a house burned down? It never happens. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
No, that'd be a tough deal.
Okay, listen, we have got a lot coming on. Kathy, as a door-to-door salesman, talking smack about her to the neighbors. Can't wait to dig my teeth into that one. Vicki, Tracy, Nathan, everybody, hold on. My name's Mark Major, and as you know, this is the only show of its kind, and we're going to be back, and it is Car Friday.
Talking smack.
One of the greatest fears people have.
How is everybody? All right? Doing well. How about you?
What are you
doing?
Are you sure that
a lot of nothing?
to you?
No, I work all the time.
When you retire,
I really do.
you need to
Yeah?
create a sustainable income stream. What does that mean for you? It means that by having a retirement distribution strategy in place,
I'm probably one of the most unconventional business owners there is. All I want to do is get dirty and work. You know, I mentioned out a warehouse right now, and I worked at it all day yesterday. I've got this stuff, you know, 4 tiers high of all this Corvette stuff that we kept over the years. And well, it's just sitting there.
What do you got to do?
I've got a guy that keeps showing up out of the blue from Arkansas that bought some parts from us a year ago, and he came back. He has he's got 4 little cabins that he takes care of up in Estes Park with him and his mother. Barry lives in Arkansas, but him and his son do use Corvette parts. Well, I've got stuff that's literally been there for probably 30 years.
So you're going to buy it all?
I told him, I said, you buy one, you buy it all. Wow. So I'm getting all that stuff down and inventorying it and seeing what I got, and I'm going to give him one number and let's get a box truck in here and load it out. Good for you. Well, I keep thinking I'm going to use this stuff. I don't know how much. I mean, I've got hundreds of wheels.
Jeez. Wow.
Hundreds of
And what
wheels.
sucks is when someone needs them, man, you can get whatever you want for it, but...
Yeah, but it's, you know, most of them are, a lot of them are brand new take-offs and inboxes, and I mean, I look, every time I go in there, I go, it's just dollar bills just sitting up there. Yeah, that's stuff people would love to have. Well, somebody somewhere probably wants everything I've got somewhere.
Tell them to get them one real quick.
You got to market it. You got to
The
get
question
it out
is,
there.
it's a 2014 Hyundai with an engine recall. Hyundai wants to replace the engine. He's going, can't I just, shouldn't I just wait till after my 100,000 miles are up before I get it replaced? That's sort of his question.
Back, I'll call you.
Yeah, yeah.
These are really decent guys.
Oh, this is that Hyundai.
So,
Why are they recalling?
There's something wrong with.
Was yours recalled?
I haven't got anything on it, but it's only certain ones, and they're talking about a total engine replacement.
That's what this guy's saying.
Yeah.
He's going, why shouldn't I? He wants to wait till after 100,000 miles and get it replaced.
Get as much
He thinks he's gonna think he gets a new warranty or something. He's wrong.
Or like say you put
Just because they replace it, it's still going to be the same warranty.
What are they replacing?
Engine on some Hondas.
Oh, really?
I guess so.
Yeah, I got a thing, but I didn't get. It's only certain ones. It's not like all the Santa Fe's. Plus, I'm sure they want to get it done and not have all that sitting out there.
Oh yeah. Well, they have to get it done. You can't have a recall out there and not be active with it. You can't do that. So
because it comes off as bullshit.
I'm going to tell you what, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration just holds your feet to the fire, man. If there's recalls out there, you've got to find
Ever
it.
since
Got to get
the
it
stuff
done.
happened with GM and the keys and all that stuff, that Mary Barra, that's at the top of her list. You get the recalls done. You deliver a car with an open recall, and they'll be up there.
That's just pretty much out of the question anymore.
Not anymore.
Even if it's something stupid?
Don't matter.
Not safety.
If there's a recall, you better have it.
There is no recall not considered safety.
Oh my God, I'll tell you what.
They're all safety, right?
None.
We had that
transferable if you sell the car.
not that long ago.
Yeah, some of them are transferable. No charge, some have $150
everything.
Okay, so that max
And
one
we
that you're
do
talking about.
that as soon as that
Transferable.
our
One way or the other.
CDR, customer delivery report.
What it's on.
As soon as we had it the next day, we had a letter.
The next day.
The next day, we had a letter that says this is once, there won't be another one.
So it connects to the VIN.
Yes.
And then basically they know, because when you do a recall, whatever it is, then you update it on that VIN that it's been done.
It's all tied to VIN. There's
next day.
Well, there's been so much lawsuit and stuff like that over the years.
But what do you do like with the Takata airbags? I mean, they just simply didn't have them. There wasn't enough airbags to cover.
We had to wait on bags. Okay. There's been a big release now.
So there's nothing you can do. I mean, if there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do.
There's another company taking them over.
Well, they filed bankruptcy.
Yeah, no, you won't find.
Oh shit, man! They gave away 10 million free airbags. Christ.
My 2001 Chevy, you have
They
to
should.
I got a recall on it.
That's where Volkswagen
did. But if you would get something down off the tailgate and they snapped,
They gave, ultimately they really came through for the consumer. I mean, they killed it on that deal. The recall on the ones they had to boost the horsepower.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm talking about, the emissions and horsepower.
Yeah, they were fair.
Oh my God, they bought them back at almost full price.
Yeah, they're fair.
1900.
Can you imagine what an overall nightmare that is for them?
Oh, it's billions.
People that just.
I can see where he wants to put 100,000.
They had to get them back too. There was people that wanted to keep them, and I don't know how that's going.
You couldn't.
I know, but I mean, I don't know who didn't argue that. If I bought a car,
it takes away from the recall.
Who are you to tell me I got to give it back? I mean, I don't understand that.
I can see that.
Now, what they could do is DMV or someone could say, well, it's fine, keep it. You're not going to register it because we're not going to allow it on our highway.
They had to make it fair. I mean, if it was fair, you're going to do it as a consumer.
There's some people that called in that they didn't want to do it and they didn't know what to do. They said, I don't care how much money they want to give me. I want to keep it because their theory was it's going to be worth a shitload more someday.
Yeah, right.
Not if you can't register and drive it.
Don't see that.
They wanted the backwards engineer to figure out how to trick emissions.
You probably better put that in story somewhere.
Do you ever go to Pueblo? You ever drive down there?
I've been through Pueblo and I drove very fast.
Do you know where the Pikes Peak Raceway was between Springs and Pueblo?
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing
That's where all them Volkswagens are parked.
Oh yeah, someone sent us pictures
There was
of
100,000 of them or something in there. Have you seen that?
What do you think they're going to do with all those?
Scrap them.
Crunch. Wow.
So they get. God, you would think at least they could move them to Mexico where they could sell them.
We were talking about that yesterday. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
they had to pay out and buy them almost full price.
Well, send them to Cuba. They're starving for North America.
The entire fleet could fill up Cuba.
Exactly. It actually looks really cool to see all them cars parked there.
Someone sent us a picture like a month ago on that. They were just everywhere.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Welcome to the show. My name's Mark Major, and this is the only show of its kind. We solve problems. We answer questions. We take complaints. It's car day. Any car questions you have, 303-713-8255. I'll tell you when a line opens up. We've got a lot to talk about. In studio with me, some great people. Jeff Vick, Kimber Transmissions, Andy Barella, Colorado Springs Dodge, and then, I'm sorry, what was your name, sir? Excuse me. Who's the older,
Excuse me, all the time.
Rolly Purifoy with Purifoy Chevrolet.
The oldest member, by the way.
You probably are the oldest one in this building. Is that what you meant? Oh, you mean oldest referral list member?
Well, yes, our first with Tom. And
way back in the day.
Yeah, that goes back a long, long way. A lot of radio shows, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Some crazy times in the early days.
Mike, what is going on with you, sir?
Thanks, Mark. My question is twofold. It's about the same vehicle and extended warranty. I was told by the a dealership, my wife's vehicle has 35,500 miles, that there's an engine recall and it's going to need a new engine.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 2014 Hyundai Santa Fe.
Don't you have a 14, Deputy Dan?
I do. I have 37,000 miles.
But yours isn't involved.
I haven't gotten this one on the recall.
Okay, so what's your question on it, Mike?
Well, I'm worried. I mean, if I want to continue driving the vehicle until the engine goes bad, then put the new engine in it.
Well, good luck with that whole that theory's not going to play out.
Okay, so I'm forced to take a new engine?
Yes. Well, okay. Are you forced to take a new engine? Guys, you both are in dealerships.
I hadn't heard that about
I've never heard anybody that wouldn't want the new engine.
Well, yeah, if they can. What is the recall for the motor? I don't know about that.
I've heard of it, and I know it's true, and they're replacing it. I don't know why, but let me ask you this, Rolly.
Fire problem, or?
From the dealership standpoint, though, let's say it was a vehicle you sold, GM had a recall, and you had to do a new engine on it. Can the customer simply say, no, I don't want a new engine?
Well, I don't really know that.
It's weird.
I'll tell you what, the factory's going to stay on us until we do.
Say that again?
I'm worried about the resale value of having an engine replaced at 35,000 miles, and I have an extended warranty on the vehicle, and part of me just wants to sell it, and if I sell it, do I get all of my extended warranty back since I haven't went over the...
It depends on...
They'll prorate that.
Yeah, they're going to prorate it, or it depends on which one you bought. There's some companies won't give you a nickel back, but generally they'll prorate it.
It's a Hyundai extended warranty, but I'm still in the 3-year, 36,000-mile period, and I haven't used any portion of the...
there is no 3-year 36 on there. It's a 5-year 60 is what you keep... That's what you're trying to say.
Okay. So with that being said, do I get all of my money back since I haven't used any portion of that extended warranty?
You'd have to talk to the dealer. I mean, I don't know the answer to that, man. I mean, it depends on the contract. It's a contractual question, Mike, but okay. I'm still baffled why you wouldn't go get a new engine.
Being a factory deal, I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, this isn't like, I mean, right now you have 36,000. You're going to have an engine with 0. If anything, it's going to increase the value of the vehicle. I don't see this as a negative to you in any which way on resale.
So selling it to somebody else and saying, "Hey, the miles are not accurate. It really has X."
No, you're going to show them the invoice from the dealership showing you got a brand new engine. You're going to say they did it because of this recall, and the guy's going to go, "Oh wow, I got a brand new engine."
Right. It doesn't affect it.
That's what I want to know.
What you need to look at, Mike, is a recall is a safety recall. So you want to get a hold of the dealer and find out safety. How is it affecting you or your family? It might be extremely important that you do it.
Yeah. What is it? Do you know? Are they like catching fire? What is the deal?
I don't know.
It's actually excessive bearing wear that can lead to engine seizure, which could potentially end up in a crash.
Okay.
Okay.
All
there
right.
You go.
Yeah, but just, get it done, Mike. And by the way, you're on a referral list, aren't you? I recognize your voice. We talked about a week or two ago.
Yes, I am.
He's with GE Tree Service. This guy will go out. You get rid of the stumps. You get rid of everything, right?
Yes. We're full service, tree trimming, tree removal, stump removal, yes.
What areas do you do?
South Metro Denver.
All right, so anything, old trees, new trees, anything to do with getting rid of trees, stumps, you're the man.
Yes, and we're fully licensed and insured.
Give your phone number out, man.
303-500-2017.
All right, Mike. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I wish he was up north.
Yeah, I know, man. I got trees, too, that it's like I got a couple stumps, but they don't bug me too much, but I can't figure out why the old owners of my property, I know why, it's just cheap. You cut down the tree, you cut it up into firewood, and you leave the stump there. It must. How do they get rid of those stumps? I've never seen someone do it.
They've got, well, one machine.
It's like a jackhammer?
No, they've got a machine that drives over the top of it, and it's just a big grinding wheel.
And it just chews
right
it
out of there.
Man. All right, 303-713-8255. Let's see here. Kathy, you have definitely sparked my interest. What is going on?
Okay. I have some concerns about how a security company is training their employees and accepting some bad behavior. So, a couple of weeks ago, out in the front yard of my house, I'm cleaning out the gutters, and a security alarm sales guy comes up, starts trying to do the conversation, talk to me, trying to sell me, and I said, not interested.
What kind of?
Go away.
What was the company, Kathy?
Can I say the name?
Of course.
It's Vivint, V-I-V-I-N-T.
Okay.
And so as I'm there, realize also that on the garage we have a no solicitor sign. So clearly this kid's just coming up and just ignoring all the signs. I tell him, leave. I'm not interested. Get off my property. Refuses to leave. Continues to give his sales speech. And I'm up on the ladder, and I say, go away. Get off my property. I'm not interested.
Hold on, he's just not leaving? He's really just...
No, he's not leaving. And then he continues to talk and do this, almost said a bad word, this sales conversation.
The chuck and jive, or the shuck and jive.
I'm not interested. Get off. And I was very clear. Get off my property.
You sound pretty clear.
Saying, get off my property. Kid wouldn't.
He just stayed there.
Yes.
So then what? Is he still there right now?
No.
Okay.
So this happened just like about 2.5 weeks or so ago. So I finally get him off my property, and I can tell you, I'm irritated about, are you kidding me? Leave me alone.
I don't believe it. You irritated? Get out of here.
Yeah. So, I see him going up and down the neighborhood that day, and I go to one of the houses where he's at, and I said, yeah, I do want your business card. I want to call the company and complain about your sales tactics.
So now you're stalking him. Okay.
It's no, dear heart. He's stalking me.
No, I'm kidding. So what happens? Did he give you the business card?
He gives me the business card, and he's there with another one of my neighbors, new neighbor. We got all sorts of new neighbors moving in. So I call the company, and I say, hey, I want you to know about this salesman, yada, yada, yada. Oh, we will talk to him immediately. That's not how we do business. Oh, good, fine, lovely. A couple days later, I'm in the kitchen, and I look up, and I see this same sales guy standing on my next-door neighbor's porch, looking into my kitchen window and staring at me. What? So a couple of my friends were coming over, and so my friends and I are outside, and I say to this salesman, hey, I do not like you looking in my windows. Cut it out. Oh, no, wasn't doing that. So since I was there with some friends, I figured I had some witnesses to be able to say, yes, she did confront him about, cut this out. This is creepy behavior.
Lord, Kathy.
No, it gets better.
Okay, I can't imagine.
Oh, dear heart. Wait till you hear.
Okay.
Fast forward to just, like 2 or 3 days ago. And as I said, we've got all sorts of new neighbors. So
and I'm sure they're happy to be in the neighborhood.
Yes, because we've got a good neighborhood watch going on here. So,
I bet you catch anything. I would hate to be the poor guy knocking on your door. I bet the Mormons are just nowhere around there.
Don't be knocking on my door. I got a sign that says no solicitors. Can you not read? So, a couple days ago, another new neighbor is talking to me. And he says, hey, I heard such and such and such and such about you. And I said, what?
What did he hear?
well, let's move a little bit on this here. I said, where did you hear that from? And he says, oh, the Vivint salesperson was over here talking about you and telling us all sorts of stuff about you. This is after, Mark, after I had called the company to complain about this guy.
What did he say, though?
Well, without getting into the prurience interest, I'd like to focus on, my name shouldn't even have been on in his mouth.
Hold on. Let me take this break because, Kathy, I swear this might be the longest call I've ever had in my life. But I'm dying to figure out what has happened. So hold on. I got to take this break, though. And I really want you to think about telling me what he said. I got to know. What did he say? I'm sitting here with bated breath. We'll be back.
Oh, shit, that's what I said. That's got to be some... All these new neighbors, they got to be real happy about this one.
You said yada yada.
What?
Yada, yada, yada.
That's right. Yada yada yada, he said bad about me. I've had someone say yada yada about me.
Yada, yada, yada. And then yada, 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 he's telling the neighbors something.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, yada, yada, yada.
And I didn't like it.
Well, what is it? I'd rather not tell you what it is. What could it be? What do you think he's saying? That she's a fucking nut. That's what he's saying. That nut keeps thinking, I'm staring at her through her window.
So I remember I had yada yada sex once. Pretty awesome.
How do you yada yada sex? He bought me the lobster.
Boy bought me the bisque. Lobster bisque.
He bought me the lobster bisque. He takes me home.
Had sex. Yada yada.
He goes, takes me home and yada yada yada.
You missed the best part.
The bisque.
That's right. I told you about the bisque.
See, that's what you're missing by living too far out by yourself, Mark. All of the neighborhood watch stuff going on here.
Do people come out there, way out there like that?
She knows everything.
We when we first moved in, so you know the paved road right before you get to our cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I was leaving for work, man. They had these two guys pulled over. There had to be 2 Douglas County sheriffs and 2 what appeared to be homeless guys, or walking through the neighborhood. They had him pinned down like quick, man. I had no idea what was going on. So then I asked my neighbors later. I told them about it. They said, shit. They said they try to get people out of here because people start shooting at them if they start walking on their property.
Oh.
They're like warning the people that aren't supposed to be there to get the hell out because they might get shot. So to answer your question, other than those 2 a year ago, no. I've never had anyone knock at her door I didn't know was coming. And I can't say I don't like it. I mean, I love it.
Right.
If someone knocks on my door, I'm perplexed.
Nothing worse, though. You're sitting and watching TV or whatever and stuff, all of a sudden knocking, I just say, hey, thanks for coming.
And then you mentioned it early, that hailstorm brought roofers everywhere.
And most of them are all rip-offs.
For over 20 years, we've been providing the highest quality fitness equipment money can buy.
Was it last Friday when we went to that place, I-25? Did you guys hear that I-25 roofer went to, where that the lady actually went to Mexico for a month, and he moved in a person, one of his workers, into the house?
Really?
Oh, you guys didn't hear this?
You knew she was gone because he was roofing?
Right, and she had said that, hey, can I leave my tools? He had said, can I leave my tools in your basement?
Oh, he rented it out.
He says, the guy. Now, fair enough. The guy who was living down there, his last name was Tools.
He's lying. he came up with that joke and he can't stop.
I'm telling you.
But this guy, I've never seen anything like it, man.
That's good, Dad.
This contractor he was the biggest shyster ever. He literally took siding off the back of her house.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah.
And threw it on the side where the hail damage was. He rented out her house to the tools guy while she was in Mexico for a month.
Yeah.
Rented it out. It was crazy, man.
Took all the fixtures off the
half the roof doesn't have decking under it. It's just shingles.
To call it a shack is upgrading it.
Oh my God, yeah.
The way she said it, usually the caller's way overemphasized. She underemphasized how bad.
What ultimately happened?
We're out talking to her. We're out talking to her at the house looking. And I'm looking at her like, this is crazy. He really leased it out to a homeless guy? She's like, hold on.
He brings him up.
Hey, Jesus, come up here. Hey, Jesus comes up. He's a homeless guy. She has now hired him to finish the job. He's living in the basement. And I'm looking at her like, this shit you can't make up. We need to get one of these, Geraldo Rivera over here and just get this whole thing out in the open.
He took the roofer took the sink out. He took the fixtures off the ceiling.
And these fixtures, I mean, there couldn't have been any
value. At the house, huh? Why is the roofer taking a sink out? She said she thought he was going to demo the inside, so he just started letting the people take stuff.
He was renting it out to homeless. Who knows why they're taking shit?
You got a quarter for it.
All right, 303-713-8255. I've got to get back to Kathy. Kathy had this guy from an alarm company, Vivint, V-I-V-I-N-T, come over, knock on her door, stand in her front yard, didn't want to leave. She finally shooed him away. This is going back a few weeks. But then she talks to another neighbor that heard some, as best as I can say, gossip about Kathy, and apparently she got the gossip from this same guy, this sales guy. Hey, give this sales guy a name. What's his name?
And it's okay to say his name on air.
Just say his first name. What's his first name?
Zach. And Mark, to let you know, when I could not get this guy off my property, I called that Vivint that day and complained, and I've got the name of the person whom I spoke to.
I bet you do.
Yes, and so this little creepy sales guy not only has the creepiest sales routine that he's doing, but he also has been going and gossiping to my neighbors about me after I called the company to complain about him.
I'm going to go out on a limb and make a prediction. You got to be honest with me, Kathy, if I'm correct or not. Okay?
Okay.
Don't be upset with me. This is, I'm just making a prediction. Okay?
Okay.
Were you attracted to him?
Hell no!
Okay, okay.
Oh, gross! Gross!
Okay, well, okay. So where's this going? Is he still bothering you?
Well, now what I've got going on is that he is still in this neighborhood, still going door to door.
But he's not bothering you anymore.
He's not. Well, wait a minute.
Rolly, I'll bet you lunch she's divorced.
He's talking to my neighbors about me. Why?
I'll just buy.
Why is my name part of his sales pitch? Excuse me?
Well, okay, what is the gossip, though? Everybody out there is waiting. What was it, honestly?
No, let me go this way. It's more important that he should not be talking about me than what he did say.
But what did he say? We've got to have an idea.
What if it was
Listen, okay, hold on. Just between us, what did he say?
Just between you and I and all the listeners. I really want to focus on he shouldn't have been talking.
I know, but the whole fact that's what you want to focus on is what's making we're so interested in what is he saying. What is he saying, Kathy? Tell me.
And just let me know, just help educate me.
Okay.
Why is that important, or more important than that he's using me as part of his sales?
Okay, I'll give you an idea. If he's using you like this, you know that beautiful, wonderful lady, Kathy, over there, that must be the best neighbor in the world, she talked to me. That would be good, right?
No, he does not have permission to use my name.
Well, I don't think he's got to have permission to actually, talk about a conversation, but I am dying to know. I'm happy to call this guy and call this company, but in exchange for that, I need to know what he was saying.
Because?
So I can call up and say, why is your sales guy spreading rumors to other people about Kathy? Here's what he's saying.
So what if he's, okay, I can share that with you. What if he's saying more and more things? My framework here is...
Are you sure you're not in a relationship with this guy?
That's so gross and inappropriate, wrong.
Well, then what is it? You're almost like someone in high school, like, you're not even in high school, let's go middle school, that likes the boy and, like, pulls the boy's hair and stuff because you got a crush on him.
No, I strongly assure you, I wanted this kid off my property. absolutely off. I don't want this kid then...
Hold on, I got an idea. Kathy, I got an idea. Suzanne, would you please pick up so she is not on the air, make sure she understands she's not on the air, and find out what it is, and then just tell us on break, unless she lets me. But I really want to know where it is. I mean, I'm kind of making light of it because it's so bizarre. I have no idea what she's going to say. But I'll bet anybody in this room, she's not married. Anybody want to bet? Lunch. Anybody. Not a word. You could hear a pin drop in here. 303-713-8255. Dave, what's going on with you, sir?
I took my diesel over to a place in on the edge of Lakewood in Colorado and Golden, and the guy there, Jeremiah, the owner, a wonderful guy, and it's not all negative. He took care of me 3 years ago for my diesel, got it run like a rape tape for 3 years, put 10,000 miles on it, and then for whatever reason we had a cold snap and it just quit. I took it back down to him, and he said, Dave, you're going to have to wait for about a month, sit here for a month because he's very busy. No problem. So I waited a month, it sat on his lot, and then he called me and told me the estimate would be $1,800 to $2,200.
What was it?
No problem. What? Fuel injections, I guess fuel injectors were going bad, but he had replaced the fuel injectors 3 years ago.
Okay.
I only put 10,000 miles on it. But it ran great for 3 years. No complaints. He took good care of me.
Cool.
And then, so of course, you're going to, if something happens, you take it right back to good. If your service is good, you take it right back. No problem. So $1,800 to $2,200. Okay, I'll get the money together. Please fix it. So he gets it done in about 2 weeks. He had to send the fuel injectors out, get them tested. No problem. And he calls back and he says, it's done. Go ahead and bring the money. I bring the money. He says, when I get there, hey, Dave, it's got a little tick or a glitch. I said, what is it? He said, no, nothing to worry about. Just drive it. It'll go away.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I give him the dough, we go out to the truck.
That's bizarre advice, but okay.
I know, but again, I trusted the guy from before.
All right, so what happened? What was that tick? I assume what?
We go to try to start it, and it's a hard time starting it. And I go, okay, but he finally gets it started, and it has a little glitch or hiccup while it's running. I don't know whether fuel injectors or what. He said, just go drive it. In 5 minutes, it'll be gone. Okay. And I get in it, and I was dropped off because, of course, he said it's ready to go. I was dropped off, so I was dropped off by a friend. So I get it on the highway, 5 minutes run. I can't get the thing above 19 miles an hour. I'm on
Dave,
70 going up towards, go ahead.
Dave, what is the problem right now?
It's not running.
Okay, and then what is he saying about it?
He says, when I got it home, he says, tow it to Ford and get them to get a because he couldn't read it. He couldn't read the computer.
So whatever he did didn't do anything, is what you're saying. It didn't need fuel injectors.
2,200, but I got it home, but then I had to have it towed to Ford in Highlands Ranch.
It sounds like it's in limp mode. What do you guys think? What was the year, make, model
it's not
again?
running at all.
What's the year, make, model?
2000 Ford cab over flatbed dually.
And now it'll turn on, but it just won't get over 19?
No, it won't turn on at all. It won't start. I had to have it towed from Idaho Springs to Highlands Ranch over at, Outer Nation Ford.
I mean, God, it could be anything in the world.
I need a readout. Go get me a readout. Take it to Ford, get me a readout, and then bring back the readout, and then we'll figure out what's wrong with it.
What do you want from him?
I told him, I said, well, I gave you the dough. It's not running. How about let's settle, just give me half back so at least you pay for your cost or whatever you did for it so I can leave it at Ford. If they can read it, they could probably figure it out, and he can. And he said, I don't give refunds.
Wait a minute. Hold on. He sold you what? You said injectors again.
No, he said he sent injectors out to a company to test them. They take them out and they send them to a customer.
How much did they charge? How much did he charge you for that?
$2,200 for everything.
What else was there besides testing the injectors?
That's all I know about is the testers he sent out.
Hey, this sounds horrible.
Well, yeah, you pay the dough and you got no truck to run.
Well, you pay. I'm not even understanding why it would cost. So even R&R, guys, just R&R on these injectors. Just give me an idea.
$500-600, you would think.
I would think it'd be somewhere around there, yeah.
And then how much generally to get them checked out?
Well, probably close to the $20-some hundred to get them replaced, you would think.
That's where I was going. Why would he?
There's more to it than what we know.
Let's call this. Deputy Dan, call this bodacious diesel and see what they have to say. But, Dave, you're saying he didn't do any other work. So here's the deal.
Not that I know of. He'll give you more details than I can. This is just what I remember what he told me.
And then you offered, hey, just give me $1,100 back?
Yeah, just give me, and I'll leave it at Ford, let them finish it. Just whatever, keep half of it. And he says, I don't give refunds.
It's kind of weird. The guy had it for a month. I mean, this guy agreed to it. I can't work on it for a while. But then
No, more than a month. It was
Okay,
a month and a half.
whatever it is, it was a long time. But what I guess is really irritating me more is you're saying the minute you drove it off, that ticking sound was there. He said, drive it, it'll go away, right?
Yeah, I called him while I was on the highway. I said, I'm going 19 miles an hour. She won't get up the hill. I'll nurse at home.
And then that's it. So, I mean, it's like the guy didn't even test drive it.
No. There's something deeper than this on the, besides injectors.
And what was the problem, again, you brought it in for originally to this guy? I know it sat a month and a half, but what did you, not a lot of power?
We had a cold snap, like it was 10 below up in Idaho Springs.
Yeah.
It was in winter, and it was running great, and the next day, nothing, dead. It wouldn't start. So I towed it down there, had it towed down to him. And
that's almost just like the fuel gelled or something, and then it's turned into this complete...
Well, it could have fuel gelled at that point, but there's something deeper than... If they pulled the injectors and had these tested and everything, we're fighting something else. I don't know if injector pump, something's not right there.
Deputy Dan, give them a call. Hold tight, Dave. Let's call over to Bodacious Diesel. I think that's what it's called. See if he'll come on and talk about it. Could be a whole nother side to this thing. All right, 303-713-8255. We'll be right back.
I mean, if everything was fine and it's cold as hell, that
sounds like fuel.
Yeah,
well, and on that earlier 7.3, heck, just low engine oil, you won't start.
Right.
Just what?
Low engine oil won't start. So, but this labor is
anyway.
What? One each side, 4.3, each additional 0.2. So,
what's this guy doing working on this stuff and he can't pull codes?
Dang good question.
That's weird too. And if it's that much to send them out, why wouldn't you just replace them?
Especially with some of the high performance ones they've got available for comparable problems.
$2,200.
Sounds like the guy was over his head, had no idea how to get out of it.
What's interesting though is he says the guy fixed it for him before.
Yeah, but we don't know what that problem was 3 years back.
So he said they replaced injectors 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. And then it might have simply been bad injectors, but they shouldn't go out again in 3 years and 10,000 miles.
All injectors go bad at once? No, I don't go for it.
Unless you have a Spider, right? One of those Spider injectors in Fords. Don't you have to replace the whole thing?
That's not on the diesels.
No, but I'm saying you can't just do one of those.
No, yeah, you got to do it but these you can definitely do individuals.
Yeah, most.
But those injectors.
Yeah, you're right. Like every one goes out at once.
Right. You figure Ford injector. Ford wants $379.67 a piece.
How much?
$379.67.
What do you think Napa wants?
I have no idea.
Would you use a Napa product on that?
I don't think so. I'd probably go through banks or somebody before I did something like that.
Or factory.
So that would put him in the ballpark of replacing them for $2,200.
No, it's 4.2 hours for one per side, and then 2 hours for each edition.
Should have been higher.
Yeah.
Again, it depends.
So you figure by the
if
time
they bought him aftermarket, though, he probably bought them cheaper.
Well,
you said that's a 40 injector. Makes no sense. I guess I can understand why he might want to get it diagnosed before he gives money back to know what's going on with it. But it sounds like the customer side of it's pretty fair, you know.
Yeah. I got the value of injectors.
He's not saying give me everything, which is good.
I think the guy sounds extremely reasonable. But who knows? I mean, we'll see what the other guy says. I mean, it's possible that
everybody
needed
wants
injectors.
to fix their own problems. You don't want to hand off.
And that's just it. That's why I say before.
But sometimes you have to understand you can create more of a problem by not. Hey,
that's why I say before he settles, he probably wants to know what's wrong. I agree with that.
So tell Jim we want 2 of those. I always want to say Hellcat demons. 2 demons, and me and Tom want to race them around for a weekend. So just put those people on the.
We'll get a couple of Hennessy Camaros and we'll go.
That sounds interesting. There you go.
And a bottle of Hennessy, like you said.
No, the Hennessy Camaros.
Hennessy Camaros.
No.
They call that the Exorcist.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Because every demon needs an exorcist.
2 or 3 months. Left on a Tuesday.
What's a top of the line Camaro run?
It was done on a Thursday night. Came home Friday morning
40s.
early because we were
Or
so
you get into
excited.
Z28 or Z01 or in the 70s.
Okay, so they go way up there too.
Yeah, the Z01 Camaro will, especially on a road course, will destroy the demon. But probably in drag races coming up there, this probably go through the demon. But you can't hook those cars up. No, I mean, physically speaking, you know, they always talk about 0 to 60s and everything like that. Well, you can't do 0 to 60 in 0. And after a while, it becomes a thing of who can get the thing hooked up. And you can't hook them up, and so they start putting slicks and stuff on them and all kinds of stuff to get them to hook. And there's still going to be over a 2-second call.
Oh, good.
And the physics just won't allow it.
We'll say what you used to tend to turn people.
Shut.
He was cool in the room before here. You'll probably be arguing with him.
He's trying to say that I give people an attitude. Rolly, tell him he's full of shit.
So you're going to tell Jeremy, generally, you probably do a good job. Oh, Jeremiah. Generally.
Dan says generally you run a good business.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Was he a good friend of Mark's, though?
Well,
he was.
On occasion.
Why was that song? Why was everybody forced to sing that in 1st through 5th? Why was that? Did you guys have to? Oh, man, you won.
Deputy Dan, it looks like you got Jeremiah with Bodacious Diesel on. Dave called in. I'm catching everybody up, then I'm going to go to the business owner. But Dave called in, said I had a problem with Bodacious Diesel. 3 years ago, he did a wonderful job and replaced some fuel injectors, and everything was great. Then I brought it back. I had to wait a month, but he explained that to me, so I understood that. I dropped it off. It took him about 6 weeks. I went to pick it up. The day I picked it up, it's making a noise. The owner, Jeremiah, apparently said to him, according to the caller, according to Dave, that don't worry about that ticking sound, it'll go away. Dave couldn't get it over, 19 miles per hour. Now the vehicle won't even start. Jeremiah apparently said, hey, bring it over to the dealership, get it checked out, and let me know what's going on with it. Dave said, hey, let's just, why don't you refund me half the money? He paid $2,200, I guess, to have the injectors pulled out of the vehicle, sent out and tested, and then I guess put back in. I'm not sure. We'll ask Jeremiah. But that's basically what Dave's saying. Dave, did I get pretty much all that right?
Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, there's probably a few little other things that I've forgotten that he's going to be able to give the details.
Fair enough. Hold on. Fair enough. Hold on. Let's do this. So let me get you on hold because I want to give him every opportunity. First of all, Jeremiah, thanks for coming on, man. What is going on with this deal?
Okay, so with our diesel repair facility, primarily Ford, Chevy, Dodge.
Cool.
And Dave's got a Ford LCF. So this is a European model. Requires some specific software just to hook a scanner to do a lot of the testing and things like that. And I had made Dave very aware that we don't have that software, and nobody in our neck of the woods does either. And so the first time Dave come in that he talked about that we did a great job and whatnot, we repaired his vehicle based upon symptoms and what we've seen other trucks do similar to that, and that got him going, and he was happy. So years go by and this and that, and he has another issue. Now, at this point with this issue, really required a scanner to be hooked to it and do proper diagnosis. And I made Dave aware of all this, and he was just so excited that we did such a good job the last time. Do your best and do what you can and whatever you think.
Got it.
So, seems how we put a set of fuel injectors in it, a couple years past, and by all rights, they should last, X amount of miles kind of thing. We didn't want to just go ahead and replace all the injectors again because that would be unfair at that point. But we couldn't talk this vehicle with a scanner, and we gave aware of that.
What was the $2,200 for? What was the breakdown of the bill?
So what we've got on here is diagnosis for no start when running or running rough. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we've got on here is a set of gloves. We own those out, and those were bad. And then we knew we had an injector issue. So since we didn't have the scanner to hook to it, the only next opportunity to do would be to pull the set of injectors out and send them into an authorized testing facility and see what they have to say about it.
And what did they say?
So he's got a 6-cylinder. We sent all 6 in. 5 of the injectors passed on their test stand. Okay, and so we elected to have 1 replaced at that point and reinstall them in the vehicle. Now, keep in mind, with these type of injectors that we were having tested, there's 2 parts to them. They run on a high-pressure oil system, and then they have a low-pressure fuel system. The high-pressure oil fires fuel into the cylinder. So to replicate 100% what it goes to in the truck, because of the oil, different weights, different brands.
Okay, but you got this done. You replaced the 1 injector. You put the other 5 back in. You did the glow plugs, right?
Yes, we did some fuel filters and an oil change and a serpentine belt.
Okay.
And
then the vehicle still got an issue, right?
And so the vehicle was running at that point when we took a test drive, and yes, it had some issues.
I'm barely starting to hear you, Jeremiah. I don't know if you're moving around or what, but say that last part again. All right, I got to put him on hold. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Let's try to get him back up. Guys, I want to ask you something, though. Here's where my brain's going. If he charged Diag and did all this stuff, and the vehicle still has a problem, I understand he explained to Dave, hey, you know, I don't have the scanner, I don't have this, I don't have whatever, but I don't know if I even care about that. I mean, this guy's the professional.
But if this is a Euro unit and he didn't have that, it's just like I said, what was he doing off the air? Why is he working on these vehicles if he can't hook up and scan them?
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
So he doesn't have the software for something he wouldn't normally see. You know, all
right, let's
we're a little bit stuck there.
All right, keep going, Jeremiah.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back up, man.
Okay. So getting back to it, we put the injectors back in, test drove it, realized that we had some issues, called Dave about it and said, hey,
turn the radio down, man.
This somewhere that you can get it scanned to get a proper diagnosis on it. And so at that point, Dave came to pick it up, and, you know, a part can fail at any moment. It could fail over a period of miles, or it could fail instantly.
Yeah, of course.
And we had put about 30, 40 miles on a test drive on this thing, and, you know, it was running, it was starting, we at least got the thing going. I explained it all to Dave and said, hey, can you find somebody to scan this thing, and I'd be more than willing to help you out after we get a diagnosis with a scanner.
Yeah.
So at that point, Dave came to pick it up, and the issues were progressing with the injectors, and we had to get it over to Ford. Dave got it over there, got the diagnosis done. They wanted a handful of injectors replaced, and then retest after that, and the notes from Ford said could possibly have...
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hey, Dave, when you didn't tell me you got it over there, but when you got it over there, did they replace the injectors?
They haven't done anything. He just... wait, let me tell you about this. This is a little different than the story. I was only told to take it over to Ford to get the diagnostic after I called him and picked it up because he said it was done. It's working fine.
Yeah.
Then I came and paid him in full. I wasn't told to take it to Ford to get a diagnostic until after I picked it up.
Here's where I'm going. If it is, Jeremiah, and I'm trying to just get this done because, honestly, my head's going to explode. But, well, just because it's long and drawn out, honestly. I hear people turning the radio off at this point. But here's where I'm going. Jeremiah, I'm curious. If it turns out to be the injectors and the dealership says that, are you going to give this guy any kind of a refund? Because you're saying the injectors, you sent them all out and they were all fine.
Yeah, that's the test results that I got back from the testing company, and that's the only information that I have to rely on that.
Well, okay, but here's what I'm trying to say.
I offered to Dave,
go ahead.
I don't know if he's talked about it and trying to work this out, is that I offered Dave to replace the injectors, the parts at my cost pretty much, and not charge pretty much no labor. Basically, you know, go back in there, the ones that Ford diagnosed, and put them in, and then at the end of the day, if we would have put those injectors in from day one, he'd be the same thing, but even cheaper parts. And
okay, well, wait,
didn't want to put any more money into
what you just said. Let's finish that. You said, okay, Dave, how about how much are they going to charge you to fix this thing and make it run? I said $1,800, and you said, well, $1,800. Okay, how about for $900? You bring it back here, and I'll try to fix it, but no guarantees that it'll run. But if you charge me $900 more, and I'm still in the same boat I am now, now I'm at the $3,100. It doesn't make sense.
What I was explaining to you, Dave,
how much was it? How much was a diagnostic, Dave? How much?
It's going to be like $150.
No. How much did he? You said you paid Jeremiah $2,200, and I tried to ask Jeremiah this. What is the breakdown of that invoice?
I don't remember. He's got the
Jeremiah. What was the breakdown? How much was a diag?
Diagnostics, $150.
Okay, so $150 there. If you didn't diagnose it properly, would you agree you owed that back? I understand you said the glow plugs weren't good. He has new glow plugs. I mean, Dave, you should pay for the glow plugs. Agreed?
Yeah, I said...
Okay, so then how much on the injectors? Jeremiah, how much did you charge him? How much did you charge him for the glow plug?
The glow plug is $18.50 a piece. There's 6 of them.
Okay, so what was the total labor and everything for the glow plugs?
So the plugs and the injectors were pulled out at the same time because we've got to do that.
All right, hold on. I got to take a break. Deputy Dan, please just see if you can negotiate this off the air. My God. I just want a breakdown of the bill. Here's where I'm going. You two work in dealerships. Help me out here. If someone brings it in, I don't care if they say, hey, I don't know how to do it. I don't know. Is that the consumer's fault? If I bring you a 1912 freaking space shuttle and I say, hey, Rolly, fix this, and you say I can't fix it, and I talk you into trying to fix it, is that my fault or yours? I mean, whose fault is this?
Well, I think we all try to help people when we can. I don't care who we are, but
yeah, but you charge $2,200, hand it back.
It's out of your league.
That's right. If it's a doctor, I'm not going to tell a doctor what to do. This guy's the expert. Hold on, everybody. I got to really. If you're on Facebook, you can hear us during the break talk about this. We'll be right back.
What do you do in a situation like this? He's an idiot for taking it.
Fix it. Why would you want to use?
Yeah, but how about the $2,200?
Well, then he should refund him what's fair. But now it's going to go back, and if it doesn't fix it, then what? Then it goes back to Ford.
He needs to quit messing with this guy. But all I care about is the $2,200. See if Jeremiah will refund him whatever he charged him for this diagnostic.
The labor.
Well, the diagnostic and...
No, when he sent him out to get checked.
Well, when he first started this thing, he said he was trying to get half his money back. You know,
God, this guy only wants half his money back. That's a deal. That's a deal. I'd give it to him and let him go to Ford and be done. Why would you go back?
Well, why would you? Why would you work on a car?
And this Jeremiah is saying, "Hey, the only thing I had to go off of is what this other company said." Well, who cares? That doesn't make it right.
And he's saying, Jeremiah saying, "Hey, I did a repair based on experience, not diagnostics."
When he first said that, I was so close to saying, "So you guessed the first time."
Exactly.
Well, when you can't access the electronics on the car, you're stuck. You're done.
But then you turn it away if it's a problem like that.
$1,800, Ford needs to fix it.
There's no way.
Then if it doesn't fix it, it's Ford's fault.
Keep them on too, because I do want to. I'm going to finish it up with them both quick, but keep them both on.
That's the deal.
Oh
Can't
my
get
God!
into electronics on these. I don't care what it is.
People are crazy. You're just going to bury your hole deeper and deeper and deeper. End it.
And to say I don't give refunds.
End it.
Can you imagine that is on the sign? No refunds.
No.
No shirt, no shoes, no refunds.
End it. Put it behind you.
HOA put in too high of a step.
I wonder what that means.
All I can picture is she's 140, and she doesn't like how high the step is.
When does an HOA build?
I was going to say, what does the HOA have to do?
Common area.
You think?
Well, I don't know what else it would be. You know, walking up to her house.
There are standards of the industry for rise and run.
Well, and if it's a condominium, I mean, they still got to follow AHA. I mean, they got to have access. And
I've looked at that, I wonder, what does it mean? Normally, the HOA doesn't do anything.
But take your money.
That's right. Damn right they do.
Kathy is back with salesmen spreading rumors.
Well, you got to do it. You might as well just lay into have a good time with it.
Do you remember, I don't know if Mark does, you remember the old episodes of Bewitched?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Mrs. Kravitz?
Oh, yeah.
That's who that lady reminds me of. Huh? Remember? She knew everything that was going on in the neighborhood.
Oh.
That's aging yourself.
You know, I've got two neighbors right across the road from me that they seem to know everything that happens at my place. I live out in the country, but
yeah.
And I wanted to really kind of one time call them on it. You know, like let's put up a fence or something. But You know, I think about it, they're the best watchdogs I got when I'm gone.
Oh my God, if anything's out of order.
If something ever stops around, I'll tell Paul, or Holly, either one, I'll get a text from them and say, you know, there's a truck outside in the stop by your gate.
Yeah.
You know, or something, shit like that. And, or if I have some worker or something out there, they're kind of like on it, so I figured, just leave it alone.
Yep. That's funny.
I used to kind of take an issue about that. Why should I kind of really have this? That's awesome. You guys, as much time as we've sat here without being nearly that much fun, I listen to Tom go off on somebody for a half hour, or work with something for a half hour, or listen to somebody. This Kathy, you just got to go ahead and work it over.
God, this one's driving me crazy, this fucking Jeremiah. What do you say?
Split the deal and let's go.
Not you.
Let's go.
Exactly.
That's a fair deal.
Life's too short.
I think 1,100 back on 2,200, and his truck's in worse shape.
If that's all he's asking, walk.
Oh, yeah. Run.
Take it and go. You know what? He'll get more good out of saying, yeah, let's just split this thing up and go for his company than if he just wants to dig in his heels and be stupid.
Yeah.
But he has a policy, no refund. He'll be breaking his own policy.
We're going to break policy here today.
So he said he'd take his diagnostic charge off and still do it for $900 as far as the...
Do what?
Do the...
Why?
Injectors, and if it still doesn't work, he's going to go back and forth, but he's going to save him $1,000 by doing it, and he's going to have to just go back and forth.
I got to tell you, I don't like one part of what we're talking
about right now. So, Dan, I got to go back, and I'm going to be very blunt with Jeremiah here. Jeremiah, I cannot understand if this guy's going to let you out of this whole deal. He paid you $2,200. His vehicle's not running right, and you guys are working out. This thing is not going to get better for you. What happens if that doesn't fix it? What happens if their diagnostic isn't right now, and you're the one doing the work? He brings it back to Ford and says, hey, your diagnostic was wrong, and they go, no, the guy that installed the things did something wrong. I mean, this is like a can of worms I've never imagined.
Exactly, and that's what I was trying to avoid with Dave, saying it might be better.
Then why don't you just, he's willing to take just half back. His truck is in the same condition. It's got one new injector. Charge him for the new injector, the glow plug. Charge him for that kind of stuff, and then just cut the baby in half.
Well, it doesn't quite cut in half like that, but I'd be more than willing to give him his diagnosis back and part of the labor that was due to the injectors, but charge him the labor.
How much? What's the dollar amount you'd be willing to give him back?
Let's see what we got here.
Is that him back up, Suzanne?
Yes, he's back.
Go ahead. I mean, Jeremiah, go ahead, man. I mean, you sound reasonable. It's just like...
I'm trying to be reasonable. And
yeah, but you need, as a business owner, you need to just get out of this. I mean, he's giving you a bone right now. I take it. These are the kind of things that just turn into a nightmare. One shop telling you what's wrong and another shop doing it. You know this.
Yeah.
Time to walk away.
Yeah, throw a number at him. Be generous if you want to look at it that way. I thought he was with half. So what are you thinking to make this thing go away? You're done. He's done.
I gotcha. And then, let's see, 220.
Hold on a second. I'm just going to put him on hold while he's using his calculator. Meantime, Kathy's back. Kathy called up. There was a salesman going door to door that camped out in her front yard, apparently selling alarm systems. He wouldn't leave.
Pardon me, Mark.
Yes?
Kathy was just a bit insulted,
Why?
Over the bet she's single and not married comment you were making.
Was I correct?
I did not even ask her.
Kathy, I told you, I think you have a crush on this guy.
Mark, that's not cool.
Well, she's not telling me what the info was.
Oh, I was going to tell you off the air.
Oh, you do know?
I know.
So is it real?
No.
Hold on. I'm going to put her back on hold. So we'll find out. I told everybody. I'm going to know this information everybody's going to want to know. I'm not even going to tell you, Rolly. Andy, I'll tell you, though.
Thanks, Mark.
Jeremiah, did you get that ticker tape cooking yet?
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, $520 is what I'd be willing to give back in here, so I came up with that. So that is the diagnostic charge.
Yep.
That is the labor portion for the injectors to remove it and send out.
Yep.
That is the money for what we paid for the testing. and that's what that comes up with. Now,
So-
what's left on the bill is the glow plugs,
Yep.
an ICP sensor and gasket,
Oil change, fuel filters.
fuel filters, a serpentine belt,
Oh.
some diesel fuel that we put in this tank for a test drive, and what else we got here? A couple seals for pulling the valve covers off, which we had to do the glow plug.
All right, hold on. Dave, did you hear that?
I heard it. Yeah.
I think it's fair. If he really did the SERP belt, you know, I'm gonna totally guess here, but let's say SERP belt, good quality, couple $100 parts, labor. The fuel filters, what, $100? Isn't there usually two on there? So $100 to $150. The oil change, let's say $79. All glow plugs with labor. I have no idea. Guys, throw something out. Generally pricing. All glow plugs on this vehicle. R&R.
What, $800, $700-800?
$700-800. I think it's fair. I mean, Dave, he's going to give you $500 and whatever dollars.
I think it's better than nothing, right? I mean,
Well, it's definitely.
Listen, I'll work it out with him. I'll work it out with him.
Perfect.
Prior to calling you guys.
Well, okay. Well,
so that's fine. That's fine. To make this all go away and just get it fixed. Again, he did a great job the first time.
yeah, I know. Jeremiah, you know, and did he, I do need to know this, did he warn you that, hey, I might not be able to figure this out because I don't have a computer that'll talk to it?
Yes, absolutely. The very first time 3 years ago, he did.
Okay.
And so, but I know that.
I understand. Listen, I don't care. I don't care if he did or not. I'm just curious if he did or not. But here's the deal: it's settled. So call him up, get the $500. Jeremiah, I appreciate it. I think that's fair. You did do a lot of other work on there. Can you give him the money today if he heads down?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, hasta la vista, both of you. Jeremiah, thank you for coming on, man.
Yep.
All right.
That was the right thing all the way around.
Well, I'll tell you why I know that ended right. You want to know why? Do you know the answer to this?
I do.
What? What's the answer?
Neither one was happy.
They're both pissed at me. That's how I know. But that's how I know it's a fair deal. You know, at first they didn't say all that other stuff. I mean, really, all the glow plugs, the serpentine belt, it's a diesel truck. I mean, you know, there's cost here involved. I think it's a fair settlement.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to be mad at you, though. I mean, we've got them to the table. They've discussed it. They're settled it. And if he pays him today, you know, home run.
Well, they seemed a little upset at you.
Well, so what's new?
That's true.
No, I don't have people upset with me.
Suzanne, I'm going to, well, break's coming up. I'm dying to know what this gossip is. Is it juicy? I mean, is it good stuff?
Yeah, I guess so.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear. And I got a secret no one else knows. I'm not even going to tell people in this room. I think she needs to bring it up, though. I'd never say it on air because I told her I wouldn't, but that would be a good part of the story. Then we can call over to that company and see what's going on. But Kathy, hold on. I was having fun with you, but don't be upset with me. We are going to try to help you. 303-713-8255. 303 Martino. Don't forget, live at troubleshooter.com. We've got a lot coming up. We've got a landlord issue, mold in the house, and HOA's got too high of a step installed. And don't forget your car questions. All that and more coming right up on the Troubleshooter Network.
A neighbor
Hold on. Don't
addiction
flip the
can
mic
affect
yet.
anyone. It does not discriminate by race or age or wealth. Too many Coloradans are addicted to opioids. Thousands of Coloradans are battling addiction, and each year, hundreds die from an opioid overdose. And the problem is getting worse. Under the health care plan being debated in Congress, more than 270,000 of Colorado's most vulnerable citizens could lose their health care in the next few years. And with it, lose the lifeline that could save them from addiction. That is not the health care reform Colorado needs. Our senators promised to protect our most vulnerable citizens and provide much-needed support for those suffering from opioid addictions. They must keep their promise. Urge your senators to protect health coverage for as many Coloradans as possible. Vote no on the Senate health care bill. Paid for by the Coalition to Protect America's Healthcare. ProtectHealthcare.org.
This is Denver's talk station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. KHOW, Denver.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. The first face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin since Trump became president has wrapped up in Germany. The two met for over 2 hours today in Hamburg during the G20 summit. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and his Russian counterpart were also in the meeting. A readout of what the two leaders talked about will be released by the White House today. Meanwhile, German police mixing it up with protesters near the G20 summit again today. Police boats chased down Greenpeace protesters in high-speed boats on the Elbe River. Meanwhile, police using water cannons and tear...
with her. She's taken high offense to you accusing her of having a crush.
Well, that alone says this woman's a little bit off her rocker. Right?
A little bit. Yeah, she's a little bit off. Yeah.
I don't know why she cares, except for, I guess if I were in a new neighborhood, I wouldn't want the neighbors to think I had
Barney.
Barney.
We're on.
Mark.
I knew that was coming.
What about? That's funny. Oh, you guys.
All right, I got Kathy back up.
Here we go.
You're gonna slip.
Yeah.
You're gonna slip.
On the mat.
Yeah.
I'll get her to say it.
Sure.
There's no, I mean, it's so stupid. I thought it was going to be something completely different.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something you couldn't say on the air.
Yeah.
Boy, you know, we could have had 1,000 people guess and had $1 million prize, and I guarantee it wouldn't have been a winner.
No way. Would not have guessed it.
Now the good news,
salesman.
the good news is she sounds like she's Dan's age, and Dan's single.
No, he's got to go.
I gotta go.
Wow. That's a new perfume he's wearing, that old to go.
It's a good girl, too.
It's cashmere.
It's such an odd call.
It is a strange call.
Can you just imagine? See, I don't even believe the guy's just standing in her front yard and won't leave.
That's a strange.
Yeah.
There's like huge chunks missing.
Emergency assistance and more.
And he's still in our neighborhood. I think she's got him. And it really bothers her that I said she's got a crush on him.
Tom Martino on 630 KHAL.
Welcome to the show. My name is Mark Majors, the only show of its kind. We solve problems. We answer your questions. My goodness, we take your complaints. We get involved in stuff I never thought I'd be involved in. If you told me when I was 20 years old that I would be discussing a man standing in the front yard and he wouldn't leave, he's trying to sell an alarm system, and then he starts spreading unbelievable, horrible rumors that I can't believe. In fact, my goodness, if I can, you know what? I now know what to write a book about. I've been wondering, I was going to write a book about Martino. What do they call that? A ghostwriter? But it's not happening. It's not happening. All my energy is now going to be focused in Kathy's story. It almost sounds like a good movie, too, Kathy's story. But Kathy, in all sincerity, I have no idea why he would be spreading that rumor. It is bizarre within itself. But why do you even care at this point, Kathy? Suzanne's reached out to him. We're trying to get a hold of him. So we are going to tell him to quit bothering you. But why do you even care what this salesman thinks? Why do you care, honestly, Kathy?
I don't give a flying rat's hiney what he thinks.
But you almost gave me a heart attack.
I hope so.
No, but
hear it from the single ladies, buddy. Yeah, that was really tacky on your part. Let's just put that down there. Wasn't funny. This company doesn't have my permission to use my name, any false.
Kathy, it's just but it's communications you had with him. You don't have to get permission. If Rolly and I have a discussion during break.
He did not get any information from me about me. Why is my name being used as part of his sales pitch?
I have no idea. I can't imagine why he'd use it.
That's why I'm
calling. But it's not illegal.
But really, do you understand as a woman when somebody is going around and sharing inappropriate information about you?
Okay, I know what it is. What's inappropriate about it? My God, my brain was going crazy. There's nothing inappropriate about it. It's just bizarre.
Mark.
Yes, Kathy.
Doesn't get to use.
Okay, you know what? I'm just going to put it this way. I'm going to keep you up so you can give it to me too. But Kathy, I think you're way overboard on this. I don't see any reason in the world why you're letting this guy bother you. Why you're letting this salesman get to you because he says something stupid to your neighbor. Who cares? Go tell your neighbor it's not true.
Mark. the company is allowing and encouraging this behavior on their sales.
Mark, pardon me, I did send you an email from a gentleman who concurs what she's saying about Vivint. This is what it says right here. It says, if it's the same company, Vivint Security, I have been reading on the Nextdoor app about these salespeople that are currently going through subdivision in Thornton and doing similar things to what the lady you had on experienced.
What, spreading
rumors?
So that's
really curious that we got that email from this gentleman.
We got to call into him. Kathy, I don't know what to do. We've got to call in. Maybe that'll stop him from doing it if he's still doing it. But there's nothing illegal here.
No, Mark, let me run this idea by you.
Sure.
This is not appropriate for them to be doing. They should not be encouraging their salespeople to be taking information and sharing it that they don't have permission, whether it's true, false, or whatever. I'm not part of their sales staff. I'm not part of their sales discussion. They don't have permission.
Kathy, there's nothing illegal about it, though. There's no
appropriate.
Well, that's fine. They probably think you're a nut, though, when you call up complaining about them. They probably honestly do. They probably don't get what you're saying because it is hard.
Mark, can we just sit with? They should not be gossiping.
You're right. They should not be gossiping. Okay, I will say it. You know what, Rolly? They should not be gossiping.
I agree.
I agree. There's nothing we're going to do about it. We've got to call into them. We'll tell them to quit gossiping. But my God, Kathy, I think I don't know why you're so consumed with this at this point. And for folks out there listening, the gossip is crazy. In fact, I'm starting to think it's possible, though, just because of her last comment. It sounds like maybe it's true, but who cares? It's so dumb. It's not like...
just don't say it, Mark.
Of course I'm not going to say it, but it's not like... it's not even like slanderish. I mean, it's like...
I always told the kids, if somebody says, ha-ha, your hair is blue, and you know it's not blue, who cares what somebody says, right? I mean...
It's the dangdest thing. Tracy, what's going on with you?
Hello?
Yes, Tracy. How can I help?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm calling. It's a landlord issue. We have lived in this rental property for just over 2.5 years. Excuse me. We have found black mold in the home, which the landlords refused to have professionally cleaned.
Yeah.
We've done a bunch of repairs. For over 2 years, I've been communicating with them about the flat roof over our garage. When it snows or rains, we'll get inches and inches of water, which has produced mold and algae. Then in April, we had an issue in the basement. Couldn't figure out where the water had come from, but the entire carpet, the drywall was wet.
Why don't you move out of there, Tracy?
Well, the issue is 2 years ago, was diagnosed with a very rare disease, complex regional pain syndrome. I am on disability.
Okay.
And it's not very much. And the rent that we're paying here, basically, my disability covers that, and I have $200 left over. All the rental properties, I have 3 kids still in the Broomfield School District, involved in athletics. We need to stay in Broomfield.
We might be able to help you find another place if someone's listening, but you can't really make a landlord fix stuff. What you could do, where I was getting to when I asked you why don't you move, you could do a constructive eviction if you wanted to get out of there. If the place is as you described, and I mean water's coming in, and there's lots of different reasons why you could do it, you could do a constructive eviction and get out of there without him tagging your credit or stuff like that. But as far as making someone fix stuff, it's next to impossible unless they want to fix it.
Yeah, it's the mold that has accumulated the basement, and we have had to dispose of all of my son's furniture, majority of his clothing, because that was affected.
Is this a single
problem? It's just that I can't find a place.
Tracy, is it a single unit place, multi-unit? What is it?
Duplex.
I'm sorry?
It's a duplex.
How is the other side?
I haven't spoken to them. I probably should have. But I mean, we've got black widow nests in the basement. We have, I don't know if they're fruit flies or ants.
Could you send us pictures of the mold?
Oh God, yes.
I mean, is it like a chia pet's just growing everywhere down there?
Yeah, they still haven't removed the carpeting. They've been bullying me. They actually said for them to let me stay in the house until July 30th.
Yeah.
I am supposed to rip out all of the linoleum on the main level, replace it with wood flooring.
Well, what do you mean in order for you to stay? Don't you have a normal lease with them too where you pay a certain amount?
Yes.
Okay, so...
It's just that they live in California. Took them from April until a week ago to actually come out. I had sent them pictures. They have reached the lease where it states the landlord...
Tracy, how much can you afford a month?
Not... I bring in $1,800 with my disability.
Okay, and how much are you paying right now at this duplex? It sounds like hell.
$1,600.
Well, how do you live? I don't understand. The math doesn't even add.
It's not easy. Actually, I have 3 teenage kids.
Do they work?
They have been picking up babysitting, mowing,
okay.
Anything they can do.
So you guys are getting by. Listen, if anybody out there's got a place, really the only thing we're going to be able to help you with, I don't know what you expected out of this phone call. I could help you with a constructed eviction. I could tell you how to get out of it if what you're telling me is correct, where you wouldn't have ramifications on your credit report and stuff like that, but I can't make them fix stuff.
Well, and actually, a woman, an attorney from Boulder Legal Services, suggested that I contact Tom Martino.
Yeah. But what are you trying to get done? What are you expecting out of this phone call? Do you have you've had the landlord's information, right? Like the phone number?
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, they're trying.
When is your lease up?
It was basically an ongoing lease that I signed July 1st of 2015.
You mean a month-to-month lease?
No, it was a year-to-year or until either party wanted to move on.
So it's a month-to-month lease.
And how this all arose, well, now they want to sell the property, and they want me to continue to pay full rent with... You know, I had to get a storage unit to put the things that were in the basement storage room in. You know, my water bill has gone up more than double because they've refused since March to fix the toilets and the showers that leak.
Tracy, I don't know what we can do for you. Help me out. Ask the question. Ask me what you're looking for. I can make a call to them, but it might not work out in your favor. You know what I'm saying? They might be irritated. We're calling them. If you're not in a long-term lease, and from what you've described, it sounds like you're month to month, they can have you move out.
Yeah, I mean, all I guess I'm looking for is... where do I stand in all of this without them trying to evict me because they want to sell the house because a plumber told them I had flooded the basement because he didn't look at the window and see what was going on. And
we're going to give you Brandon Siglian's phone number. You can call up and talk to him, but I'm going to be very straight with you again. I don't see anything good coming out of this. I don't think you're going to be getting damages for the furniture downstairs, and let's say you did. I mean, what do you think the value of that furniture is? Compare that to what an attorney would cost to actually try to get that value would be crazy. Look, why don't we concentrate on getting you a new place coming up?
That's what I need.
Okay, so what area is it?
Broomfield.
Okay, so anybody in Broomfield, and I mean, what do you need, a couple bedrooms? I mean, whatever's available out there, and how much a month can you actually pay?
I've been figuring out how to make the $1,600 if I can. I do have a work comp case that is supposed to settle.
Okay.
Soon, so I would be getting a settlement. I just need a safe place for my children.
I got you. So, okay. So let's get that word out. Tracy is looking for a place in Broomfield area. She wants to keep her kids in that school. She can pay $1,600 in my opinion is pushing it, but say $1,400 a month or less. If anybody out there, please email us at live@troubleshooter.com. I don't know much about her, but it sounds like a bad deal. I don't know what happened to the other basement. It sounds like water came in through the window. Landlord saying it's something else, but regardless, she's got to get out of there anyhow because it sounds like they're selling the place. So if anybody in Broomfield knows a place, maybe a room for rent, an entire basement, a duplex, an apartment, something she can get into, please, live@troubleshooter.com. Ed's got a question on a Corvette. Ed, hold on. I'm going to bring you up right after the break, okay?
Okay.
All right, hold tight here. And then let's talk about, first of all, I do want to talk about Frank Duran, the real estate man. Frank Duran sold my house. Frank Duran found me a new house. Frank Duran sold 2 or 3 of Tom's homes and found him new ones. Frank Duran, the real estate man, is the best realtor I know. Period. End of story. If you're buying or selling a house, you call Frank Duran. 303-920-1622. 303-920-1622. You can also check him out at frankduranhomes.com. And if you buy a house and you want to do new flooring, you know who you call? Paradigm Interiors. These guys are great. It doesn't matter if you're looking for carpet, hardwood, tile, laminate, they've got it all. They'll even come out to your place, do the measurements, do everything you need out there, give you a quote, or you can go to their beautiful, beautiful showroom and check out everything they got. In fact, Tom and I were down there, I don't know, it's been about 3 weeks now, but they have design consultants. They'll walk you through it. You get a project manager. Their pricing's good. It's all structured. It's a great company, Paradigm Interiors. And once again, it doesn't matter if it's hardwood, if it's carpet. We have this Shaw carpet they sell that's got this water backing, which if you have animals, it's great, but for numerous reasons, it's great. It's probably the best carpet we've ever had in any house, and Paradigm Interiors has it down there. 303-630-9204, or head down to Evans. It's just west of Santa Fe, but it's Paradigm Interiors. Call them right now. They'll come out, do the measuring, do whatever you need. Very aggressive, too, on pricing. 303-630-9204, 303-630-9204.
This report is brought to you by Hum by Verizon.
Crashes and construction clogging up the drive both on and off the freeway system at this time. A couple of wrecks on I-70 eastbound.
Well, that's a lot of rent money, isn't it?
It is.
I don't know. I would say for Broomfield it is.
It's terrible.
But it's a duplex.
And that's pretty pricey for a duplex.
Yeah, I don't know shit about them. I mean, it could be.
It seems expensive. I thought there were legal issues with mold.
I did too.
Not like you guys are.
If they can prove that they made them sick and they know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it'd make you sick.
If you had real damages from it, maybe, but just getting to the point of proving it costs so much.
I thought there were some really
Pardon me, 2 things. Fred said he's going to work on that box thing on Monday. Have it ready for Monday, whatever that means.
Is he coming on?
No.
Okay.
And he's not on the log. And then the second thing is, for the few people on Facebook that want to know what the rumor was, can I private message them and tell them? Is that allowable?
Nah, I wouldn't do it.
All right.
Just tell them no. It's so stupid anyhow.
Isn't that interesting that people
tell them if they guess it, roll you.
There's a few out there.
The one thing, I think it's okay to say this. After she got off the phone with you, she was crying a little because she is a professional single woman. She's a professional. She's a licensed with a master. She's a licensed social worker with a master, blah, 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 blah. She kind of sounded like, in a way.
There was no way in the world that woman was married. No.
Yeah, she was like.
Whoever she was married to hung himself years ago.
And then I just had a guy call saying, tell Mark he's not wrong. Please don't put that woman back on the air. The best thing that woman could do is go talk to the guy for 10 minutes. He'll leave. He'll run.
If she's a social worker, she should be able to handle herself.
You know, that's a good point. If she... Yeah, I don't believe that he hung out in that front yard for more than 30 seconds.
Exactly. But I'm hoping to hear back from him on Facebook.
I think she actually had blah, blah, blah. Because towards the end she goes, what's the difference if it's true or not?
Well, I have a feeling she might have as well.
Didn't we have some, did you hear like, bonk, bonk in the background?
Wouldn't that be funny? While I'm talking to right here.
Boy, that would have been funny as hell if that wasn't.
If you think that's it, come join me on Saturday.
We'll send Jeff over there. God, of all things to spread rumors. Here's the deal. It wasn't a rumor. I'm predicting. I nailed it when I said she wasn't married. You owe me lunch, by the way. Then. All right, Flexident, if you got
hail damage on your vehicle, there is no better way to get it fixed. These guys do paintless dent repair, and they do a great job. In fact, the owner, Nick, he is the founder. He's master certified. He takes all these little rods and stuff, and he'll massage these hail dents out like you've never seen. It'll look brand new. You'll never see it. It won't affect resale value. He does it better than anybody. Don't do conventional body work on hail damage unless you absolutely have to. This guy's great too. He'll give you $500 if you mention the Troubleshooter Show, mention Martino. $500, you can use that towards a deductible, you can use that towards a rental car, whatever you want to do it, and the downtime when you have it done this way is minimized. He's got a great team down there. They can get you in pretty quick, and like I said, this is definitely the preferred method for hail damage. Check them out, Flexident. They're on our referral list, or give Nick a call, 303-619-6273. Flexident, 303-619-6273.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing at 303-761-6400.
Someone you can trust on your way home from work.
I did right, didn't I? Yes. Yesterday I had 16, today I have 5. Wow. It's crazy. 16 is rough, man.
All right, 303-713-8255. Ed's got a Corvette question. Ed, I promise you'll be up after this, but Jeremy, you've been holding forever. You bought a car and it looks like it's not passing emissions. Jeremy, going once.
Guess he held too long.
Going twice.
Call him again.
I'll put him on hold just in case. Check it out. But Ed, what is your question?
My question is for maybe Raleigh to start with, but I have a 92 Corvette Roadster with a 85,000 miles on it, and I need to know, is the fuel pump in the gas tank, or where is the fuel pump?
That's a good question. It's generally in the gas tank.
I think that is in the fuel tank, I do believe, on that car, because that.
Where else would it be?
That was the. I'm thinking here for a minute.
But where else would it be?
Engine block.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a 92. I'm having a.
It's almost like a trivia question. You having a senior moment?
I think, yeah, but I think
if it's fuel injected, it'd be in the tank, right? And 92 should be injected.
Yes.
Right.
So it should be in the tank.
Should be in the tank.
Why do you ask so, Ed? Are you doing your own or what?
Yeah, I'm coming clear now. You've got a tank pump there. What kind of problem are you having?
Well, I get in it, always before it just cranking. I mean, it starts immediately. And then the last time I went out there, I went to start it. I don't drive it very often, but I went to start it and it wouldn't. It just grind. And so I shot a little ether in it, and it'd kick right off, but then it'd die.
That sure sounds like either a pump or something fuel delivery.
Well, that's what it sounds like to me.
Where are you at? Where are you located at?
Lakewood.
Well, you're not very far from us. If you want to bring it, we can fix it. I guarantee you that.
You what?
If you could bring it to us or get it to us, we can certainly fix it.
Hey, when you spray that ether in there, Ed, does it continue to run?
Well, no, it did one time. It continued to run, and I could turn it off, and I could start it up again. And then after that now it just...
I mean, guys, that does sound like a pump, right?
Normally.
Yeah, or, I mean, a really bad filter.
It's regulator.
Yep, Ed, get it up to him to check it out, man.
I need to know one other question, too. See, I'm 76 years old, and I have to fall in it and crawl out.
You're 8 years younger than Rolly.
Oh, Doug, really?
You've got your math wrong, I think.
And I'm thinking about getting rid of it if I can let the wife, get her talked into it, and I don't know what would be a reasonable price to ask for.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you'll come up, we'll teach you a different way to get in and out of that car.
That's funny.
That's true.
I believe you. I believe you. Could you also give him, if he goes up there and you talk to him, do you guys do like consignment deals?
We do. Right now we probably don't have room for another consignment car, but yeah, we do sell. We've sold a lot of cars for a lot of people.
Ed, call him up at the dealership Monday, man.
Oh,
I mean, you got to get it fixed anyhow.
Talk to him. How many years you got on me?
I don't have that many on you. I think you've got quite a few on me.
Hold on a second there. Now, Greg, you got another question for Rolly. What is it? Greg, you're up. Yes, sir.
Hey, Rolly, I've got a 14 Z51.
Yes, sir.
And when the transmission's cold, shifting from first to second, second to third, if you shift normal, it tends to grind a little bit. Once it gets warm, it shifts perfect. Is that normal?
Yep. There's you call and talk with Jerry about that, but we have seen that. And there's,
if you shift slow, it works fine. But if you shift normal while it's cold, it tends to grind just a little bit.
Yeah, and I believe there is a fix for that. So would you call and talk with Jerry?
Jeff, have you heard of this?
303-591 or 303-857-6665 or 8311.
Yeah, generally going with a lighter oil in the transmission will fix that up. When it's cold, it's running real thick, so it can't squeeze that oil out from underneath the synchronizer rings or the blocking rings. Once it heats up, it thins, it moves easier, so that basically that's usually what the fix is. And that's not just Corvette. We've seen that through industry.
Oh, you can see it in anything. Yeah. And there's different additives you can add that will fix that too.
Shockproof oil would be real good for that.
All right, great. Thanks, guys.
All right, see you, Greg. 303-713-8255. Suzanne, you can clear those up. I'm going to drop Greg there. Suzanne's got an HOA question. Suzanne, what is your question?
Hi. I have a townhome.
Yeah.
Which I rented out for 4 years.
Okay.
When we went in to clean up, excuse me, around the corner of one of the bedrooms, it was a dark line. And I pulled the carpet, and I saw a circle that looked like a plant. Like they had a planter, and the water had leaked.
Yeah.
Well, I called my farmer's insurance, my renter's insurance.
Yeah.
Come and take a look at it.
Were you moving out? That's why you were doing this cleaning?
No. My tenant moved out.
I got you.
I was moving in.
Oh.
So I look at it, and it looks like mold.
Okay.
So I call.
But hold on, Suzanne, I just need to explain this because I was a little confused on this. You actually own the unit. You were renting it out. When you were renting it out, you did not carry a renter's policy. You just had normal insurance like you were living there, right?
No, I had a renter's insurance with Farmers.
Oh, you did? You had a renter's policy?
Yes.
Okay, I get you. But now you're moving back in there.
Exactly.
Okay, so then you find this ring that turns out to be mold?
Yeah, I called the mold company to come and do a test. He said, I don't need to test it. I could see. Well, actually, I called Farmers. Farmers came and looked, and he said, just you had a dirty tenant because there were doors broken.
Okay.
The wash was, but there was a lot of damage to the house.
Sure.
And he said, it doesn't look like vandalism. You just had bad tenants.
Okay.
They were dirty, filthy.
Possible, right?
Okay. Yeah. So I called. Well, that line and the water spots looked suspicious to me, and I couldn't breathe in that room. So I called the mold company to come and do a test.
Yeah.
And they said that they charged $600. So I went, I called them, and I said, come on. He came, he said, I don't want to charge you $600. I could just look and tell you that's mold. So
okay. But it doesn't mean that it's... Okay, but let's not freak out about mold. It's not like every kind of mold is going to kill you. Exactly. There's mold everywhere.
Exactly.
So where does it stand now, though? What is the issue?
Okay, so I called Restoration One, and he came, and he said it is mold, and he will take care of it for like $500. And I said, great. Take care of it because I don't want any kind of mold in that room because my grandbaby's...
Okay, so you went ahead and you got it done?
Now, what he did, he was going to clean, he was going to take care of it.
Yeah.
But when he opened the wall, it was black, furry thing all in the wall.
Oh, wow. Do you have pictures of it?
Yeah.
How much of there? How big of a space are we talking?
We're talking about like 1.5 feet by 6 feet.
Okay. Well, I mean, where did the water come in from, though? I mean, that's not a plant sitting on the ground.
Exactly.
So where was it?
Okay, it was coming from outside.
Okay.
Because there was a faulty gutter.
Okay.
So it wasn't just in the bedroom now. When he pulled it out, it had gone all the way down to the lower level where the entrance is.
Okay, so we know where it came in from. We know what damage it caused. So now what? Where are we at?
Okay, so I called my HOA. I said the damage was from outside, and there was the guy who was doing the fixing on the outside. He said there were squirrels and there was a faulty gutter.
Yeah.
So he went. Okay, so.
Hold on a second. I got to take a break, but hold on a second. I also want to get up. Let's get Compass back up, see if we can get Jeremy back up. I have a feeling the problem we're going to run into here is if this water came in from the outside, which it sounds like it did, and it was an act of God, it was probably flood insurance, but I'm curious if they'd cover... Hey, just get him up. I have a feeling I know where she's going. In fact, I'll ask her real quick. Suzanne, you're saying the insurance company's not paying for it?
Correct.
Okay, hold on a second. What I don't understand is that I don't know why it would matter if it's renter's policy or not. It sounds like it's water coming in from the outside, rainwater, and I believe that would be... Okay, anyhow, get them up. I got to tell you about this guy. Martino's been using them for a while. Stem Cell Institute of America. His knees he gets shots in, and then the one that's blown me away is his back. And remember, I live with this guy downstairs for the past 2+ years, and he's always complained about his back. I mean, I can't put it any other way. The guy has a bad back. As he's gotten older, it's gotten worse. Well, he started doing these stem cell shots from Stem Cell Institute of America, and I kid you not in any way, I know nothing about stem cells until I met these guys, and Tom started getting these shots. I got to tell you something. It's a miracle. He doesn't complain about his back anymore. He's like a, he's like a child again when it comes to his back. It feels a lot better. In fact, I would argue on some days he has absolutely zero pain, and this is a guy whose back bothered him every single day. Here's what I like about Stem Cell Institute of America, though. You go down to one of their seminars. There's no cost to it whatsoever, and you drill them. You ask them whatever questions you have, and they'll tell you what can be done for you. Simple as that. Go down, understand it, see if it works for you. It might be that thing you've been looking for. It might be. It might be. 855-262-4040. 855-262-4040. Stem Cell Institute of America. I can't talk enough about them. I have witnessed it firsthand. Call and just go to the free seminar, and they have them all the time. It's not just like one coming up. They have them constantly. It's new stuff. It works. It's very cool. 855-262-4040.
This report is brought to you by Hum by Verizon.
Crews are clearing out a crash on the eastbound side of I-70 approaching Pecos. Back up.
There's many policies homeowners won't cover mold at all.
Well, plus that sounds like it's that flooding anyway.
And it's a slow leak, too.
It's probably her girlfriend.
So there's two things. You get a slow leak, they won't cover flooding from the outside. Or if it's hit the ground, it comes in. My policy says they won't cover.
Say it again.
Intake fuel pump, and probably more than anything on that pressure regulator.
I never saw one that's not in. I guess they could have it in line, a fuel pump that wasn't in the tank.
How old are you?
No, on Corvette.
No, on any vehicle. I just never. I don't understand.
You have mechanical, yeah. But the earlier ones were mechanical on the side of
the carburetor used to be mechanical.
Yeah, right.
So anything carbureted that wasn't in the tank?
Correct. Our carburetor could be an electric fuel pump too, but it would be tank mounted.
Or usually an add-on type deal. You could add them, but I don't remember it came with.
I always thought it was weird why they didn't design. There's a few cars where you like pop the back seat or whatever, and you can access where those pumps sit down into the tank. But the majority you got to drop. I never. It's such a great design just to be able to get to them. But
yeah.
Well, a lot of strange little design. I mean, one of the things I found that I don't like about my truck is changing the fuel filter. you've got to take out the entire fender shroud in order to access that.
Yeah, and you got to say, why didn't they make a compartment or move it?
Well, on the earlier S10s, the only thing I can say in their defense is on the earlier S10s, remember they had the door for the oil filter on there? But how long were they good for? 2 years?
Oh, the door would break.
And they were falling out.
Don't waste your money on inferior big box.
Yeah.
But you look at a pickup, okay, put a door in there so you can access the fuel filter. But then you're loading rocks or you're loading your equipment or that thing's going to get banged up, pushed around, it's not going to close, not going to something.
Prices nationwide. Now is the time to invest in your health. Come in and visit one of our 2 convenient locations and buy every...
How many miles do you have on that truck now?
If you've been driving and smoking or whatever they call it. But pretty much, if you got in trouble, you call Joseph A. Lazera. But what impresses me, and I've had 2 people tell me this now. In fact, one was in studio not long ago. His kid had some problems, some legal problems. They got Joseph A. Lazera involved. Joseph, he said he couldn't have done a better job. He did a great job, but he said something that I hear all the time. This guy knows everybody. When he's walking through these different courthouses, he has relationships with people. He knows the judges. He knows the DAs. He knows the assistants. He knows everybody there. Joseph A. Lazera is one of the best criminal attorneys there are, point blank, period. If you find yourself in trouble, please write this number down. If you got in trouble last week on the 4th of July, maybe you got a DUI, maybe your spouse did, maybe someone you know, give them Joseph A. Lazera's phone number. You got to have good representation. Even if you made a mistake, I got to tell you, you've got to get good representation. Without it, they're going to throw the book at you. This guy is a miracle worker. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. It's LazeraLegal.com, but check out Joseph A. Lazera, 303-429-6200.
Water cooler talk and so much more. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. I'm going to go right back to Suzanne. Hey, Jeremy with Compass Insurance, I appreciate you coming back on with us. Hey, Suzanne had a renter's policy at the time, and what I mean by that is she owned the complex and was renting it out. So she had a renter's policy, but I don't think that has anything to do with this, Jeremy. Ultimately, what happened is a gutter failed outside, water came in, and basically she has black mold, or what sounds like black mold, behind one of her walls, and it's pretty, there's a lot of it. It's like, Suzanne, what'd you say, like 1 or 2 feet by 6 feet?
That's upstairs, and then there's like over 30 square feet downstairs.
And her insurance, who, by the way, is who, Suzanne? Who is the company?
Farmers.
Farmers Insurance is saying you're not covered. Now, is that because it's, basically they're saying it started as flood damage, Jeremy, or what do you, just from the little information you know, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I would suspect it's not from the flood damage part of it, because that typically would have to be ground surface water to exclude it. If it came from the gutter,
so if it comes from, well,
never hit the ground.
So for everybody listening out there, if it comes from the ground into the house, then it's going to be flood insurance, which most people don't have around here.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
so, but if it comes in from the top, like through a storm or rain, but what happens when it's a faulty gutter?
Well, my guess, Mark, just with the limited knowledge, is there's probably just not mold cover. Mold is not a standard.
Okay,
barrel.
So she has no mold coverage.
Right, and in defense of farmers, without really knowing it, it's landlord policy. So a renter's policy is more what we call a policy a renter would have that they don't own the building.
It's a landlord
policy. Those are, from company to company, they're relatively limited.
Yeah.
So they're not nearly as comprehensive as a homeowner's policy.
Yeah, because they're figuring it's not their house, they're going to treat it worse.
This is a townhome.
That's fine, Suzanne. It doesn't matter either or.
Yeah, in this case, just either way. So, I mean, it could very well be there's just not coverage for mold. It's hard to say with the
Suzanne, what did they tell you? Did they tell you you do not have mold coverage?
Well, my problem is not with farmers. My problem is with the HOA manager. They have traveler's insurance.
Yeah.
And they're saying they're not going to cover the mold removal, which cost me almost $4,000.
Well, they probably, and that's just an argument you got to make with them. Let's say that gutter went bad 3 years ago, and no one caught it for 3 years because you had a tenant in there that didn't care. I don't think that insurance company would have to cover something that old.
No, nobody could see it.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
It was in
not
the
to
wall.
interrupt, but the solution to that, Suzanne, is to file the claim with Farmers, your insurance.
I did.
You did?
Yes.
What did they say?
They said it will not cover it. They're going to give me a letter on Monday that they're not covering
So
it.
Monday we'll know exactly why, and I'm guessing, Jeremy, you nailed it. She doesn't have mold coverage.
I would suspect that's what it is.
Yeah.
And ideally, if you had the coverage, they could subrogate against the HOA insurance.
That's right, but why would they do that if they're not covering it?
But my problem is not with Farmers.
We understand, Suzanne, but how else are you going to do it? What he was saying was, if they covered it, your insurance, Farmers, would go after that and other insurance company and pay for the attorney's fees and try to subrogate and get the money back. The problem you're going to have now, if you do really think the other company owes it to you, it's not necessarily the other insurance company. You're saying the HOA owes it to you. Remember, you're going to be fighting with partially your own money. So you would go after them, not their insurance company. You would sue the HOA.
And typically, again, I'm going off real limited information, but if the damage is in the unit that you own, that typically is going to fall under your insurance.
Yeah, but her argument is they neglected the roof and the gutter, which caused it.
Right, and negligence is tough. I mean,
I know. That's what I was trying to tell her, because this could have been going on for so long and no one noticed it. I mean, there's a million reasons, but one thing, Jeremy, I just did kind of pick up from what you said was you're right. On most of these townhomes, it's pretty cut and dry. If it's the roof or different things like that, it's the other insurance company, but if it does get inside, it's your own, right?
It is, and that's, it's the
Here's an example. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Let's say it's massive hail damage, like tennis ball size hail, and one of them crushes right through the roof and then rains inside the house because no one's there for the weekend and destroys the couch and the carpet and some drywall. That would be turned over to her policy, not the see what he's saying, Suzanne? It really doesn't matter if they did neglect it on top, because they generally won't cover it anyhow. You see what I'm saying?
It's a different argument if, Suzanne, if you repeatedly reported the broken gutter to the HOA and they just ignored it.
No, she didn't, though.
Right,
but we didn't
and that's
know.
Where the...
It doesn't look like it. It went
Suzanne, listen, we're not trying to pick a fight with you. We're just telling you where your insurance company is going to be the only one that covers that. The only other thing you could do is sue the HOA. If you want to sue them, I personally, I'm not an attorney, but I don't think you have a case there. And Jeremy, who gets involved in these things all the time because he works at Compass Insurance, doesn't think that the other insurance company or the HOA is at fault either. So, I mean, really, you're just out the money. I don't think it's worth your time nor your money to hire an attorney to sue the HOA. Then the HOA turns around and does, a special assessment or uses your own money to defend themselves against you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. It's just kind of it. Hey, I do appreciate you coming on, Jeremy, for a second time at Compass Insurance. By the way, you want guys like them fighting for you. That's why we use them as a broker. That's why we push them all the time. They don't get paid by you. They get paid by the insurance company. You call them up. They'll give you a quote. Send them the declaration. They'll save you money, sometimes 30, 40% a year. It's crazy. But more importantly, when something happens, they'll fight for you. You go direct with Progressive or Geico, or you go direct with some of these companies. When something happens, it's just you and them. And I guarantee they know a lot more than you do. But when you have a good broker like Compass Insurance, they kind of act as a middleman and they fight for you. 303-996-9000. Bill, what's going on with that Toyota 4Runner?
Nothing's going on with it. I just I found out that the dealership says that they don't recommend changing the fluid unless you're having some kind of problem. Some kind of world-class or world...
There's a lot of... Jeff Vick, Kimmer Transmissions, there's a lot of manufacturers that they don't even put a dipstick in to check anymore.
No, yeah, they've pretty much taken the consumer out of the equation. A lot of them, just like this one here, they call it lifetime fluid, which it is. I mean, it's good until it's no longer good. You know, when the transmission breaks, you need to replace it.
It's the lifetime of the fluid.
Yeah, it's 3 years, 36,000 miles. Once you're out of that, we don't care. So I mean, you know, but preventative maintenance is just that. I mean, even when it's good, you know, my truck, they recommend somewhere around 8,000 miles to change the oil. I do it at 4,000 miles. Okay, it's an investment. It's the cheapest stuff you're ever going to put in that vehicle is the fluid.
So what's generally a when on this 08 Toyota, when would you generally suggest?
I recommend with all automatics doing an annual service, but at least if you adhere to something like a 3-year 36, you're way ahead of the curve.
Okay. So
how do you change it on this vehicle? Do you have to take it to the dealership, or can you just drain and refill?
Well, that one most likely does have a a drain plug on it, so you can just drain and refill. However, we like to drop the pans, change the filters, monitor what kind of debris is actually collected in that pan. It gives us a good indication of what the actual health of that transmission is.
Boy, and
all transmissions don't have filters these days.
No, they do all have filters, just not all of them are accessible.
They're not serviceable, yeah.
Yeah, and that's, if people will just do that, those trannies and everything will just go forever.
Yeah.
Take Jeff out of business.
Yeah, so keep it in there for its lifetime and then come see me when you're done.
I love it, the lifetime tranny oil. It's good till the tranny oil's no good. All right, hey, thank you, Bill. 303-713-8255. Guess what spot I'm going to do? I like doing them because I always yell their name. They're at 63rd and Federal. They got 40 lenders to choose from. They've got great pricing. They give you great trade-in values. They're not high pressure. They've got product, price, and process down. You ready? Rocky's Autos, that's right, 63rd and Federal. I say it all the time. Here's the deal. Just go down there. There's not even a purpose in calling. You can go on their website and see their inventory, but I got to tell you, you got to go down there. You got to experience it. It's family-founded and operated since 1982. You can even bring your dog down there. The kids will keep them occupied while you shop and test drive. They're great folks. You got to get down to Rocky's, but just drive down to 63rd and Federal. If you're looking for a used car, put them on the list. Just put them on the list. Go to all the other places, but make sure you visit Rocky's. They got everything. They got trucks, vans, SUVs. They're all clean, late model, Carfax with every single one of them. Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. Saturday, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. They're open late. They'll stay late if needed. Just get down there. They're great people. 303-426-4646, 303-426-4646. Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal.
This report is brought to you by Hum by Verizon.
It's a slow drive in many spots on the freeway system in the metro area. Eastbound C470 approaching Quebec. Construction there as traffic.
This lady, Tina, sent us this, which says, this is fucking crazy. Vivint reaches 100K settlement with Wyoming after alleged violations. It's a home security company reached consumer protection settlement after the company's salespeople were accused of misleading consumers. Unfair and deceptive violations. It says here, Vivint was caught in Wyoming telling one neighbor that the other neighbor had chickens. I'm kidding.
I was waiting. I was waiting.
If I actually saw that, my brain would explode right here. It looks like they did. They got a $100,000 settlement, but this is because they're lying.
Yeah, so it's misleading the consumer.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Well, that'd be worth putting back out there, though.
$100,000.
The folks out in their terrible company.
Here's the problem with these companies. $100,000, that just goes to Uncle Sam. It's not like these people saw a nickel out of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really say.
At the end of the day, nobody cares what I wrote about Mark on the bathroom wall.
Continued to solicit a consumer even if the consumer expressed a desire that the salesperson stop soliciting. Entering consumers' premises without permission.
Wow. That sounds like a criminal case.
Slaughtering the consumer's goats.
They're cashmere.
Well, the only thing I've seen so far, you asked earlier about Putin and Trump.
Yeah.
All I know so far, they haven't given me any context of the meeting, but what was supposed to be a 30-minute meeting turned into 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
That's good.
Wouldn't it be cool if they came out and they were all like, doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
They shook hands and Trump patted him
Trump
on
puts him in a headlock like this.
They said they came out and Trump was patting them on the back.
Jesus. Putin had his shirt off.
It'd be funny if he called he hopped on horseback and rode off into the...
He was bench pressing Obama and curling his wife.
Yeah. That's awesome. It'd be cool if he called him his little buddy.
Old pat him on the head.
Freaking, he's a small guy compared to Trump, man. Trump's a big boy.
I'm going from Moose and School.
Tell me he doesn't look fucking great for his age, though. I don't think he sleeps. 72, I think.
72. Is he?
I don't think he sleeps, man. He's up tweeting all the time, and then he's everywhere.
Man, you guys aren't going to believe this. I'm going to go to Tina here in a second, but Tina says she can back up Kathy's story. If you're just joining us, Kathy called in and said, hey, this salesperson just kept hanging out in my yard. He wouldn't leave when I told him to. Apparently, he worked for Vivint, V-I-V-I-N-T, or at least sold their products, and she just made it sound like a nightmare. The guy wouldn't leave, wouldn't do a lot of stuff. But on top of that, it got a little stranger because apparently the salesman started telling neighbors information about her, making up rumors, creating rumors. So one lady says to her, you know, I heard that you, whatever the rumor was, and she's like, how did you hear that? Oh, the Vivint sales guy. I mean, it was kind of a crazy story, really crazy. And so this lady Tina's on now, and Tina, I promise I'll go to you, but Suzanne, is Tina the one that sent this link?
No, a whole different person sent no, they just sent me the information and I found the link. Are you referring to the state of Wyoming settling with Vivint?
Yes. So
isn't that curious?
It is. Vivint reaches a $100,000 settlement with Wyoming after alleged violations, and they continued to solicit to consumers, even if the consumers expressed a desire that they leave.
And that's what Kathy was saying. I told him to leave and he wouldn't.
See, and I told you I believed her. I told you, I said, I don't think she's a nut, Suzanne. Quit calling her a nut.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying. But seeing this is crazy. Enter a consumer's premises without permission. Use the name of a consumer's neighbor in solicitations. I swear to God, that's exactly what she said, didn't she?
Maybe he said to the neighbors, you better get an alarm system to protect yourself from Kathy's you-know-what.
That's right. I mean, it's really crazy. So it looks like it. Now, Tina, are you in Kathy's neighborhood? Do you know this or what?
I don't know Kathy. I don't know where she lives. I live out in southeast Aurora.
Yep.
And we had one of their salespersons, and I'll tell you, if it ain't this kid, it's his brother. Just for sure jerkiness.
What? How does it go down here? Because Kathy said he would stand in her yard and not leave. She'd say leave, he wouldn't leave. Just stand there, stand there, stand there. Made it sound like the guy was still there when she called. So what happened with you?
Well, my neighbor and I were having a garage sale, you know, a dual neighborhood garage sale. And if my son hadn't have been there, he might have pulled the same crap with me. Because, you know, he came up and he says, you know, and in fact, he used my neighbor saying, you know, your neighbor just bought, and he gave the name, just bought our system. And I said, well, that's great, guy, but you know what, I got cameras. Well, cameras don't do it. I said, man, I record. Well, that's just not safe enough. That's fine.
I got a bear in my house and 14 Dobermans. Oh, man, that's not going to help.
That's what I told him. I said, man, I got 2 American Bulldogs at my house. He says, well, you know, that's just not enough. I finally said, look, if they make it past the cameras, they make it past me calling 911, they make it past the dogs, they're going to have to face my gun. And then he said,
well, that's not enough, ma'am.
Because you got a gun. I'm like, are you serious? Get out of here, man.
So he was, but he invoked one of your neighbors, huh?
He used one of my neighbor's names. And then he went over to my other neighbor, who, by the way, is a guy, and did the same damn thing.
Well, what this first caller, Kathy, was saying was a little different because I guess she irritated him. I thought at first she might have had a crush on him, but now that you're cooperating, I'm going to go back and say, Kathy, I apologize. Can you believe I just did that? I do. I thought she was a nut. Honest to God, I did, but she's not. This is crazy.
Well, she's not.
And then how does someone run a big business like this?
If I wasn't mean, I think he would have done the same thing to me, but I'm a nasty little thing, so, and my son was there.
I like how she explains to the guy, listen, I got cameras. Well, I record them too. Well, I've got dogs. Well, and if they get past all that, guess what? I'll shoot his butt. And they could care less. Hey, thank you, Tina. I appreciate that.
Okay, have a great one.
Man, this company sounds like a bunch of just, God, how do you train a salesperson to be that crazy? Don't leave. No matter what they say, just stay there until they sign the contract. I mean, can you imagine that? In fact, if anybody from Vivint is listening, Deputy Dan, what's your address? I want to see if they can sell you. I'd be interested if they show up at your door, if they could sell you. But you actually said your parents had them, right? And they were a horrible company? Is that what you were saying? You can do it.
Yeah. They're terrible, and they won't, they call you up after your runs out and everything, and they, like I said, they're really bad.
Really bad. Jane, what's going on? Real quick, please. Jane.
Yes?
Yes, go ahead, Jane. What's your question? Really quick, though.
I have a quick question, please. I have a Ford 150 crew cab, and I purchased a couple months ago, and the windows don't work, and the window controls don't work. And
I'm sorry, what year was it?
2011.
Okay, so did you buy it as is, or did you buy it with a warranty?
Well, I bought a warranty.
And the warranty's not covering it?
And the dealer, when I took it back to the dealer, they
They what?
told me to take it somewhere else.
Okay, so they're not going to cover it under the warranty.
They didn't even look at it.
How much did you pay for the warranty?
About $4,000.
See, I hate these aftermarket warranties. God. Jane, I think this is horrible. The problem is it probably doesn't cover it.
Hate the people who sell them.
They're just unbelievable. $4,000. What dealership did you buy it from? Who'd you buy it from?
A red Nolan Cadillac.
It's just, man. Let's do this. We're just running out of time. So, Jane, I'm going to put you on hold. Suzanne, please grab all of her info. Let's dive into her on Monday so we can get that figured out. Hey, guys, real quick. Any screaming deals you want to mention by the end of the show? Jeff Vick, Kimber Transmission.
I hadn't really thought about it. I'll do all next week if you email me. Make sure to send your contact info so I can get back with you. But 50% off of preventative maintenance services.
Oh, you're not going to beat that. So 50% off of transmission service is what
Correct.
You're saying.
Yeah.
Well, you can't beat that. Andy Barella, please, something?
It's hot out. Let's do some AC checks. I'll do a free inspection, even a partial charge if you bring it to us, mention the show.
Perfect. Colorado Springs Dodge. You can find all these guys on a referral list. Rolly, something quick?
I'm surprised we didn't have something on here today, but we'll check
do
our
it next
website.
week. All right, guys,
Check
listen,
our website.
303-713-8255. Don't forget live at troubleshooter.com, where you can always find us. Check it out on Facebook. You can always watch us on YouTube and Facebook. You can find the podcast. My name's Mark Major. See you next week.
This Saturday, America's Wealth Management Show will air at noon for must-know retirement.
Who's in Monday?
I'll get one of those different guys to come over and he can keep things from coming us on.
They're not good. You might have to listen to what happens with Red Nolan. Red Nolan is a big deal. He's been around for years.
Oh, you think that was in the Springs?
Red Nolan? Red Nolan.
I've never heard the name. No, I mean, are they only in the Springs? Who's the one here? Massey?
Massey. Yeah. But Nolan is reputable. They're normally pretty much a
$4,000 warranty on a vehicle that was probably what, 16? I don't know, 20?
They see that aluminum foil crumble back in, they get all curious because two 16-penny nails.
We'll find out one day.
So let me ask you a question. So a window company wanted 50% up front. Would you do it?
As soon as I make
replace 5 windows?
Depends who the company was, but maybe. If they delivered the windows or right at the signing of the contract. Who is the company? If it's a big one like Champion or someone that I know is huge, multi-state, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it.
Money up front.
I probably don't
kills it,
want the visit
but
perks and certain perks and wildlife.
windows are a little different because they are somewhat custom.
Yeah, they have to order the product.
Oh, they're terrible.
And well, and if they do order it,
What do you put that inside of?
Huh?
What do you put that inside of?
But it wouldn't, as long as it's a legit
Side of a
deal,
tree. I just dig a hole in the side of a tree.